Chapter 203. The Black Scorched Explosive Dragon recovered from its shock. It suddenly realized that the human who had destroyed its dragon flames was approaching it. Although it did not want to admit it, it had to admit that the human in front of it gave it an extremely dangerous feeling. Especially the evil smile on his face and the greedy look in his eyes. It was as if he saw it as prey. At that moment, the Black Scorched Explosive Dragon felt its heart skip a beat. It knew very well that if it did not leave as soon as possible, it might become the human's prey. With that thought in mind, it flapped its wings wildly, wanting to soar into the sky and escape this place. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. What was going on? The powerful Black Scorched Explosive Dragon was trying to escape? Did it not want its dignity as a dragon? Seeing that the Black Scorched Explosive Dragon was trying to escape, Suchen smirked and said with a condescending smile, "Do you think you can escape?" As soon as he finished speaking, he raised his hand and shot out a beam of green light. When it came close to the Black Flame Blast Dragon, it turned into a thick green vine and bound one of the Black Flame Blast Dragon's front limbs tightly. Before the Black Scorched Explosive Dragon could fly, it suddenly realized that its forelimbs could not move. When it lowered its head and saw that it was a green vine that was wrapped around its forelimbs, it had a very absurd feeling. How could a mere wood elemental entanglement spell control it? The Black Scorched Explosive Dragon exerted its strength and tried to break free from the vine. However, it did not expect that the vine did not seem to be an ordinary wood elemental entanglement spell. It was extremely tough. Even if it managed to break a few holes in the vine, it was impossible for it to completely break free in a short period of time. It should be noted that the wood elemental entanglement spell that Suchen used had been fused with the Serene Pool Divine Wood. Its power was naturally more than double that of an ordinary wood elemental entanglement spell. It was reasonable that the Black Scorched Explosive Dragon could not break free immediately. Realizing this, the Black Scorched Explosive Dragon started to panic. Would that human give it time to break free and escape? The answer was obvious. At this time, Suchen held a pitch-black saber and rushed over with the momentum of a whirlwind sweeping away clouds. The Black Flame Tyrannosaurus wasn't going to sit there and do nothing. It raised its claws and slapped Suchen. Suchen didn't choose to fight head-on. A purple light flashed under his feet, and the moment the Rapid Combat Boots was activated, he disappeared without a trace. In the next moment, the Black Flame Explosion Dragon's sharp claws slammed into the ground, causing the earth to tremble. Suchen flashed in front of the Black Fire Explosive Dragon and swung his blade. There was a flash of lightning on the blade. Then, a blue torrent shot out, heading straight for the Black Flame Explosive Dragon's head. What a terrifying lightning spell! Han Kuen's mouth twitched as he stood on the city wall. Even though he was far away, he could still clearly feel the terrifying power of lightning contained within the blue torrent, which made his heart palpitate. The Black Flame Tyrannosaurus felt it even more keenly. In the face of such a terrifying lightning spell attack, it trembled uncontrollably as a deep sense of powerlessness welled up in its heart. As if he had accepted his fate, he allowed the blue torrent to fly towards him. Bang! Amidst the flashes of lightning and thunder, the blue torrent crashed into the Black Flame Explosive Dragon's head, blasting it into a bloody mist. Then, the Black Flame Explosive Dragon's headless corpse fell to the ground. He killed the Black Flame Explosive Dragon with a single strike. Han Kuen's jaw dropped. He was so shocked that his jaw almost dropped. His mind was buzzing as if he had fallen into a state of chaos. Chapter 204. Leader, we are saved. We can live. The people around Han Kuen were extremely excited. With the death of the Black Flame Dragon, the remaining mutated beasts would definitely panic. Perhaps they would scatter like birds and flee this place. Then Fengshi Colony would be saved. Qinggu is too awesome. Yang Hao, who was on the MCV, jumped up and down excitedly. Chao Ran, who was beside him, also clenched his fists. Sure Danio pouted, saliva dripping from his mouth. No one knew what he was saying. Chao Ran asked curiously, "Danio, what's wrong?" Sure Danio swallowed his saliva and smiled. "I want to eat dragon meat." Chao Ran and Yang Hao looked at each other, and their eyes lit up at the same time. Wu Yang couldn't help but smile when he saw that the three of them were thinking about dragon meat. On the other side, the mutated beasts were stunned when they saw that their leader was killed. Then, they all fled toward the Dark Valley Mountains. F***CK. Don't run. Su Chen panicked. He came here to kill the mutated beasts. Now that they were all gone, how was he going to get the shards? Su Chen waved his hand at the intelligent chariot and began to kill the mutated beasts. In order to kill more, he didn't hold back. Spells of various elements took turns to attack, and a bloody storm broke out among the mutated beasts. Bang! The fireball exploded, and dozens of mutated beasts were killed on the spot. A gray wind blade swept out, and dozens of mutated beasts were beheaded on the spot. Powerful thunder spells raged, and the mutated beasts howled in agony. A large number of them died. Lightning, wood, fire, wind. My mother is here. He is an all-elemental psychic. Han Kuan, who was on the city wall, recognized that Su Chen was an all-elemental psychic. He was petrified. At the same time, the intelligent chariot rushed over at lightning speed. When it got close, Wu Yang and the others got off the chariot and joined the slaughter. The intelligent war chariot also went all out. The ungraded Gatling gun continued to fire, killing the mutant beasts one after another. Moreover, the newly developed magnetic storm net was also released at this moment. Its power was also very great. The moment those mutant beasts were caught in the net, they would be electrocuted into charred corpses. Leader, these people are too strong. A man beside Han Kuan said in a trembling voice. Su Chen's team only had 9 people, plus the MCV. They were able to slaughter the mutant beasts. His strength was so great that it completely exceeded his imagination. Han Kuan did not reply. He was still in a trance. It was obvious that he had not recovered from the shock. Su Chen and the rest were still hunting mutant beasts, and the sky was dark. It lasted for an hour before he stopped. In this 1 hour, the number of mutant beasts that had been killed was close to 7,000. Of course, there were still 1,000 or 2,000 that escaped into the Dark Valley Mountains. Due to the complicated terrain and the satisfactory harvest, Su Chen did not chase after them. Standing on the spot, Su Chen let out a sigh of relief. He glanced around and soon, hundreds of fragments of different colors appeared in his eyes. Seeing this, the corner of his mouth could not help but curl up. The rest of the time was to pick up the fragments and dig for energy stones. Su Chen did not even need to say anything. Yang Hao and the others had already started. Su Chen did not stay idle. He walked up to a colorful fragment and grabbed it. Picked up, upgrade gem, fragment *111. The fragment is full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Chapter 205. After putting the upgrade gem into his storage pouch, Su Chen grabbed a purple fragment. Picked up 9th Heaven Dazzling Thunder Fragment *1, 6 out of 10. The fragment is not full, so it cannot be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Picked up 9th Heaven Mysterious Ice Fragment *1, 3 out of 10. The fragment is not full, so it cannot be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Picked up Apple Tree Seed Fragment *1. The fragment is full. It can be used or exchanged for energy points. Exchanged for energy points. On the city wall, Han Kuan and the others could not stay calm when they saw the mutant beast corpses all over the ground. It could be said that both the mutant beasts and the energy stones were a huge fortune. However, no matter how good the things were, they could not have any evil thoughts. There was no other reason. Su Chen and the others were too strong. Especially Su Chen. In their eyes, he was a master who could catch dragon flames with his bare hands and slay a dragon with one slash. If they dared to have any evil thoughts, they would be crushed by his finger. Leader, what should we do? A man beside Han Kuan asked. Han Kuan took a deep breath and said, "You all wait here. I'll go down and talk to that senior." No matter what, Su Chen had saved the lives of the people in the city. As the leader, it was only right for him to thank Su Chen. When Su Chen was picking up the fragments, a man's respectful voice came to his ears. "Senior, I'm Han Kuan. Thank you for saving my life." Su Chen looked up and glanced at Han Kuan. He said lightly, "I'm here to hunt the mutant beasts, not to save you. You don't have to thank me." After that, he continued to pick up the fragments. Han Kuan coughed awkwardly and smiled. "Senior, is there anything I can do for you?" Su Chen thought for a moment and said, "Ask your people to help me dig for the energy stones. But I'll say it first. Don't blame me for being rude to anyone who dares to take the energy stones." Considering that there were too many mutated beasts, with just the 9 of them digging, who knew how long it would take? He might as well ask Han Kuan's men to come out and help. When the time comes, he would just have to share some of the corpses with them. Anyway, there were so many mutated beasts that he couldn't take them all. It would be a waste to keep them. "Senior, I'll do it right away." Han Kuan was overjoyed. He turned around and ran into the city. Through this matter, they might be able to form some good karma with Su Chen, which was undoubtedly a great thing for Fengxi Colony. After Han Kuan left, Wu Yang came to Su Chen's side and whispered, "Su Chen, this guy seems to be the leader of Fengxi. What is he doing here?" "He came to express his gratitude, so I asked him to lead some people to help dig for energy stones," Su Chen replied casually. "Oh." Wu Yang nodded. Now that he knew Han Kuan's intentions, it was not appropriate for him to ask any more questions. He continued to dig for energy stones. Su Chen continued to pick up the fragments. Picked up, iced red tea fruit seed, fragment *111. Fragments are full. Can be used. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. After obtaining the seed, Su Chen directly planted it in the planting dimension. Then he grabbed another black fragment. Picked up Ares armor, fragment *1, Tuch 10. Fragments are not full. Cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. Picked up 9 nether ice, fragment *1, Fort 10. Fragments are not full. Cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. Chapter 206. "Senior, everyone is here." Han Kuan came to Su Chen's side and said respectfully. Originally, there were thousands of people in Fengxi settlement, but considering that too many people could cause trouble, he only chose 100 loyal subordinates. "Then let's do it." Su Chen ordered and called Han Kuan to his side. He whispered, "My name is Su Chen, 17 years old this year. I should be younger than you, right? Don't call me senior in the future, just call me by my name." Han Kuan kept calling him senior, which made Su Chen feel uncomfortable. He felt like he had aged 10 years. 17 years old. When Han Kuan heard that Su Chen was only 17 years old, he almost choked. A 17-year-old level 3 evolver? A 17-year-old level 3 all-elemental magician? Han Kuan's mind was buzzing. He looked at Su Chen in a daze, not knowing what to say. "What? Do you think I will lie to you?" Su Chen rubbed his nose and said lightly, "Senior." Brother Su misunderstood. Han Kuan was shocked and quickly explained, "Brother Su is so young, but you have such great strength. I really admire you." "All right, there is no need to be so polite," Su Chen interrupted and said, "I have something to ask you." "Brother Su, please ask. I will tell you the truth." Han Kuan cupped his hands and lowered his posture. Su Chen nodded and said, "Where did you get the formation of Fengxi settlement?" Even a big force like Vajra City did not have a defensive formation that could protect a city. And Fengxi was just a small, inconspicuous organization, so where did he get it from? Su Chen was very interested in this matter. Han Kuan hesitated for a moment and said bluntly, "I won't hide it from Brother Su. The formation was obtained by my father in a secret realm a few years ago. However, the formation has been broken and can't be used in the future." He thought that Su Chen was spying on the formation, so he told him about the destruction of the formation. For a large-scale array like this, it should consume a lot of energy stones, right? Su Chen probed calmly. Han Kuan nodded and said, "It does consume a lot of energy, and it requires energy stones of level 2 and above? Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up and he asked, "Your Fengxi settlement is only a small settlement. There shouldn't be too many experts, right? Where did those high-grade energy stones come from?" Han Kuan did not hide anything, nor did he dare to hide anything. "We once found an energy mine in the Dark Valley Mountains. From there, we obtained a large amount of grade 2 and grade 3 energy stones." Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. "How many level 3 energy stones do you have left?" If the intelligent war chariot wanted to upgrade to level 3, it would require a large amount of level 3 energy stones or level 3 energy stones. Since he did not have many level 3 energy stones on him, he wanted to exchange some with Han Kuan. "We still have more than 100 level 3 energy stones. If Brother Su needs them, Fengxi settlement will give them all to you." Han Kuan gritted his teeth and said, although level 3 energy stones were precious, if he could use them to build a relationship with someone as strong as Su Chen, it would be worth it. It was undoubtedly worth it. "I won't take your things for free." Su Chen smiled and said, "There are many mutated beasts here. I'll take a portion and exchange the rest for your level 3 energy stones." "Thank you, Brother Su." Han Kuan was overjoyed. After the formation was broken, the level 3 energy stones were not very useful to them. Because their cultivation was too low, they would not be able to use high-grade energy stones in a short period of time. However, the carcasses of the mutated beasts were different. Apart from being able to fill their stomachs, the meat of the mutated beasts also contained rich energy. Eating it would increase one's cultivation. Moreover, there were thousands of mutated beasts' carcasses. Their value was much higher than 100 level 3 energy stones. It could be said that no matter how one looked at it, they had profited greatly from this transaction. Chapter 207. Brother Su, I'll go back and prepare. After saying that, Han Kuan turned and ran back to Fengxi as if he was afraid that Su Chen would go back on his word. Su Chen did not mind. He could not take all the mutated beasts here. It was a surprise that he could use this opportunity to exchange for some level 3 energy stones. After Han Kuan left, he continued to pick up the shards. Picked up Mysterious Ice of the Netherworld, Shard X1, 5/10. Shards are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Picked up Magic Fusion Gem, Shard X1, 3/10. Shards are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Picked up Stamina Potion, Shard X1, 1/1. Shards are full and can be used or exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Picked up Mysterious Ice of the Netherworld, Shard X1, 6/10. Shards are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. After picking up more than 20 shards in a row, Han Kuan excitedly ran back with a cloth bag in his hand. Brother Su, there are 138 level 3 energy stones in total. Han Kuan handed the cloth bag to Su Chen. Su Chen released his mental power and scanned. After confirming that they were all level 3 energy stones, he happily kept them in his storage bag. Then he said to Han Kuan, "Let's talk about other things after we are done with the energy stones." Han Kuan nodded and started to help with the digging. Su Chen continued to pick up the shards. Picked up Upgrade Gem, Shard X1, 1/1. Shards are full and can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Picked up Mysterious Ice of the Netherworld, Shard X1, 7/10. Shards are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. An hour later, with the help of Han Kuan and the others, all the energy stones were dug out. Su Chen had also finished picking up the shards. This time, there were no purplish gold shards, but he managed to gather all the Mysterious Ice of the Netherworld. The Mysterious Ice of the Netherworld was a manifestation of the ice element, and it had been automatically integrated into the ice element magic. From then on, Su Chen's ice-type spell techniques could be considered to have risen to a higher level. Now, they were on par with the lightning-type and wood-type spells. It was far more powerful than the spells of the other schools. In addition, there were 5 level-up gems dropped. Including the previous ones, there were now 6. Considering that he needed to store a large number of mutant beast carcasses, he directly used 5 upgrade gems to upgrade the storage bag to 80 cubic meters. Wu Yang collected all the energy stones and gave them to Su Qin. After learning that there were more than 7,000 energy stones, Su Qin felt that it was enough and put them into his storage pouch. After that, he began to choose the mutated beasts that he needed to store. Since there were too many corpses of mutated beasts, it was impossible to store all of them. Therefore, he purposely chose those that were of a higher level or tasty. Su Qin stopped after loading 40 to 50 of them. After all, there was still the black flame explosive dragon, which was the most valuable of all the mutant beasts. Of course, with the black flame explosive dragon's huge body, even if he emptied his storage bag, he would not be able to store all of it. Su Qin led the others to dismember the black flame explosive dragon. The black flame explosive dragon's entire body was a treasure. Its flesh could be used to increase one's cultivation base, its bones could be used to forge weapons, and its skin could be used to make armor. After more than an hour, the black flame explosive dragon was cut into 8 pieces. Su Qin put away a complete piece of dragon skin and put in a lot of dragon meat. He only stopped when his storage bag was almost full. Chapter 208. Old Han, you can let your people carry the mutant beasts. Also, carry the rest of the black scorch bombs back too, Su Qin said casually. Really? Han Kuen's eyes lit up, and he was so excited that his mouth trembled. He saw clearly that Su Qin had only taken a small portion of the mutant beasts, and there were about 7,000 left. If they could store it, it would be enough for everyone in Fengxi settlement to eat for a few years. Su Qin smiled and said, "Once you've made the arrangements, come to me later. I have something to ask you." Han Kuen nodded and went to make the arrangements. Su Qin then led everyone back to the intelligent chariot. After killing all the mutant beasts here, the harvest was not bad. He planned to rest here for the night and search for zombies the next day. After a while, he took out the omnipotent grill, black scorched dragon meat, and various fruits to prepare for dinner. At the same time, the entire Fengxi settlement was mobilized. Everyone went out of the city to carry the bodies of the mutant beasts. It was as lively as the new year. Soon, the fragrant smell of barbecued meat came from the intelligent chariot. "Qinge, how about you try the dragon meat first?" Yang Hao had finished the first batch of barbecued meat and sent it to Su Qin. Su Qin did not stand on ceremony and took a bite. He nodded and said, "It's not bad." The black scorched dragon meat was chewy, but its taste was not as good as other mutant beasts. However, as a level 3 mutant beast and a dragon, its meat contained rich energy. This was not something other mutant beasts could compare to. Su Qin finished the barbecued dragon meat and said, "Try it." Shi Dainyu was already drooling. He took a skewer and ate it. The others also started eating. "Brother Su, I'm here." At this time, Han Kuen came to the car and greeted Su Qin. "Old Han, you came at the right time. Come and have some barbecued dragon meat." Su Qin called Han Kuen into the car and handed him a skewer. "Thank you, Brother Su." Han Kuen was flattered. "Have a taste." Su Qin smiled. Han Kuen took a big bite and swallowed it without chewing a few times. He then praised, "Delicious, too delicious." Although he was the leader of the settlement, he had not eaten barbecued meat for a long time. Su Qin laughed involuntarily. He handed over a few more bunches of meat and said with a smile, "Eat slowly, there's plenty of barbecued meat." Han Kuen hurriedly nodded his head, but he couldn't stop his mouth from taking mouthful after mouthful. The way he ate was exactly the same as the way Shi Dainyu ate barbecue for the first time. After Han Kuen finished the barbecued meat, Su Qin passed him a few fruits. Looking at the fresh fruit in his hand, Han Kuen was so surprised that he couldn't close his mouth. Compared to barbecued meat, fruits were much rarer in this post-apocalyptic world. That was because there were a large number of mutated beasts in this world. There would always be a chance to kill one and have a meal. However, it was very difficult to plant a fruit tree, and it was also very difficult to survive. In addition, it took a long time to bear fruit, so it was very difficult to see ripe fruits. Han Kun had only eaten it once since he was young. "Brother Su, this thing is too precious." Han Kun was a little embarrassed. Su Chen didn't care and said, "I have a lot of this. You can eat until you're full today." Upon hearing Su Chen's words, Han Kun did not decline anymore and started to eat in large mouthfuls. After eating a few fruits, he touched his mouth and said, "Brother Su, why are you looking for me?" "Nothing much. I just want to find out where there are zombies and mutated beasts nearby. It would be best if there are more than 10,000 of them," Su Chen said casually. His plan was to keep hunting zombies and mutated beasts. After killing all of them here, he would naturally go to the next place. Chapter 209. There are a lot of zombies and mutant beasts nearby, but there is only one place with more than 10,000 zombies. Han Kun hesitated and stopped. Seeing Han Kun's serious face, Su Chen asked, "Old Han, why don't you tell me? Where is that place?" Han Kun didn't want to tell him because that place was too dangerous, but thinking of Su Chen's strength, he didn't hesitate and said, "Etian City. There are more than 10,000 zombies there." "Etian City?" Su Chen murmured and recalled the topography of Qianyu Island. Soon he remembered that there was a place called Etian City. However, Etian City was just a small gathering place. It was not even as big as Fengxi. Why were there so many zombies? "Old Han, are there really so many zombies in Etian City?" Su Chen was a little confused. Han Kun nodded and promised, "A few years ago, my father took me there once. I saw the number of zombies with my own eyes." Su Chen nodded slightly and narrowed his eyes. Now that he knew that there were a lot of zombies in Etian City, he had to go hunting tomorrow. "Brother Su, are you going to hunt zombies?" Han Kun looked worried. Su Chen nodded. "Brother Su, the zombies in Etian City are not easy to kill." Han Kun was silent for a while and said again. Even though he knew that Su Chen was strong, he was still a little worried. He decided to explain the situation in Etian City to persuade Su Chen. If Su Chen insisted on going, he could make some preparations in advance. "Are the zombies in Etian City very powerful?" Su Chen raised his eyebrows. Han Kun explained, "Most of the zombies in Etian City are level 1, and there are many mutant zombies. They are proficient in all kinds of magical attacks. Plus, there are so many of them that almost no one dares to provoke them." Hearing this, Su Chen was not surprised. Instead, he was happy. For him, there was no difference between killing ordinary zombies and level 1 zombies. He could kill a lot of them, but there was a world of difference in the rewards. Killing ordinary zombies would only yield ordinary energy stones, and the chances of shards dropping were not high. On the other hand, killing level 1 zombies yielded level 1 energy stones, so the chances of them dropping fragments were relatively high. At this moment, he had already decided that he would go to Etian City no matter what. Han Kun stole a glance at Su Chen. When he saw that not only was Su Chen fearless, he even seemed excited. He muttered to himself, "Could this be the confidence of a powerhouse?" Taking a deep breath, Han Kun reminded him, "Brother Su, Etian City is not as simple as high-level zombies and mutated zombies. The most terrible thing is that there is an intelligent level 3 zombie. Once the zombies had intelligence, they would have the ability to command the zombie army, which would make the zombie army more powerful." Su Chen was somewhat disapproving, and there was even a trace of disdain on his face. Not only had he seen intelligent zombies, he had also killed them. In front of him was Jin Jiashi, and behind him was Jiang Qingfeng. Both of them were easily killed by him. Therefore, zombies with intelligence were a terrifying existence in the eyes of others. But in his eyes, they were actually just high-level zombies that he could kill with one hand. However, Su Chen had a trace of doubt. It was reasonable to say that the zombies in Etian City were powerful enough to run rampant in Qianyu Island. Why did they have to live in such a small place like Etian City? Not understanding the situation, he asked, "Old Han, have the zombies in Etian City gone to other places?" Chapter 210. It's strange. The zombies in Etion City rarely go out. Even if they do, they come out in batches and there are very few of them. Han Kun explained and then reminded, however, as long as you step into Etion City, you will be attacked by the zombies. Hearing this, Su Chen's thoughts started to turn. He vaguely felt that the zombies in Etion City and the zombies in the mine pit in the Huangzi mountain range were similar. Could it be that there was also a passage in Etion City? Were the zombies there controlled by the mutated race? The more Su Chen thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. At that time, the zombies in the mine pit in the Huangzi mountain range were also attracted out in batches under the control of the Green Turtle tribe. However, he was not completely sure whether there were mutated race in Etion City. He could only find out when he went there. Then, he stopped thinking about it and chatted with Han Kun about other things. Slowly, they became familiar with each other. As the conversation deepened, Su Chen found that Han Kun was a person with great ambition and a strong sense of responsibility. Moreover, his ability was also quite good. Fengxi Colony was just a very inconspicuous small colony, but it was able to stand tall in the apocalypse. The key was Han Kun's strategy. Han Kun had a good impression of Su Chen. Although Su Chen was powerful, he did not have the slightest sense of arrogance. One should know that in the apocalypse, the strong were respected. The strong were often arrogant to the weak. He had seen this kind of thing many times. However, Su Chen chatted happily with him and did not put on any airs. He could not help but have a good impression of him and even admire him. He also thought that if it were not for Fengxi Colony, he would have joined Su Chen's team. Even being Su Chen's follower was a very good choice. In this way, everyone ate barbecued meat and fruits and chatted until late at night. Then, Han Kun said goodbye and left. Because they had to go to Etion City tomorrow, Su Chen and the others also went to rest. The next morning, Han Kun led the entire city to send off Su Chen respectfully. It was as if they were welcoming a national leader. Before leaving, Su Chen gave Han Kun 2 seeds. One was a bread tree seed, and the other was an apple tree seed. He had too many seeds, and the planting space couldn't hold them all. It would be a waste to keep them, so he didn't mind giving away 2. When Su Chen informed him of the results, Han Kun was immediately shocked by Su Chen. After that, the two of them chatted for a while before Su Chen boarded the intelligent war chariot and left. After locking onto the location of Etion City, the intelligent war chariot advanced at full speed. Etion City was quite far from here. Even with the speed of the intelligent war chariot, it would take 3 days to arrive. With nothing to do, Su Chen took out all of his level 3 energy stones and upgraded the intelligent chariot to level 3. The defense of the intelligent war chariot had increased greatly after its upgrade. It could now withstand the attacks of level 3 creatures. In addition, the detection range, attack power, and space had also increased. The magnetic storm net could now kill level 2 zombies. The space inside the chariot had expanded to 100 cubic meters. The detection range had increased from 50 kilometers to 100 kilometers. Su Chen was very satisfied with the result of the upgrade. Then, he looked at the central control screen and began to search for the whereabouts of zombies and mutant beasts. His main target was the zombies in Etion City. However, if there were zombies of similar numbers along the way, he would kill them along the way. Chapter 211. After driving for more than 2 hours, Su Chen finally found traces of zombies. In an abandoned small town, there were about 1,000 zombies gathered. This number was enough to make him excited. Satoshi, go to that place. Su Chen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war vehicle received the order, turned around, and galloped toward the small town. Chingu, did you find zombies? Yang Hao and the other 2 came to Su Chen's side with some excitement. Su Chen nodded. Get ready, there are about 1,000 zombies. He was too lazy to fight with such a small number of zombies, so he would let Yang Hao and the others train. Okay. Yang Hao and the other 2 rubbed their hands, eager to fight. Su Chen's eyes fell back on the central control screen and found that there were not only traces of zombies in the small town, but also 3 humans. and these 3 humans seem to be trapped in a building by zombies. "You 3 are lucky," Su Chen muttered. He could foresee that if he did not hunt these zombies, these 3 people would be trapped to death, even if they were not killed by the zombies. Half an hour later, the intelligent war vehicle rushed into the small town and went straight to a 3-story building. Under this building, there were a large number of zombies gathered. The inside of the small building was obviously where the 3 humans were hiding. The appearance of the intelligent war vehicle quickly attracted the attention of the zombies. Suddenly, a large number of zombies rushed toward the intelligent war vehicle. At the same time, Yang Hao and the others also rushed out of the car. Xianxia rushed to the front, constantly waving the sky hammer, and at least 4 or 5 zombies died on the spot with every swing. Yang Hao and Chao Ran were not slow, but compared to Xianxia, they were much slower. Even if they worked together, they couldn't kill as many as Xianxia. Wu Yang and Yang Lingtian didn't deliberately kill the zombies. They waited for the zombies to get close to them before they made a move. They all saw that although there were many zombies here, they were all ordinary zombies. There wasn't even a single level 1 zombie. Thus, he let Yang Hao and the other 2 kill as they pleased. Su Chen did not make a move, but his eyes never left the battlefield. Every time a fragment appeared, the corner of his mouth would curl up slightly. With the passage of time, more and more zombies were killed. It was close to 300 now. However, there were only about 20 fragments. Su Chen knew that the probability of ordinary zombies dropping fragments was not high, so he did not pay too much attention to it. After fighting for over half an hour, Yang Hao and the other 2 could no longer hold on. Although the 3 of them were evolvers, they were only level 1 evolvers. It was not easy for them to fight 1,000 zombies to this extent. Su Chen was worried that they would be injured, so he let the 3 mutated wolves and the mechanical soldier. The mechanical soldier was a level 3 puppet, and the 3 mutated wolves were both evolvers and magicians. It was easy for them to deal with a group of ordinary zombies. In less than 10 minutes, all the zombies were killed. The 3 people on the small building were shocked when they saw this scene. The 3 of them were ordinary people. They had never seen such a powerful team of humans. 1,000 zombies were all killed in less than an hour. It was like a dream. "Captain, they are all evolvers, right?" Among the 3, a teenager with big eyes swallowed and said with a trembling voice. Chapter 212. They must be evolvers, and that puppet may be level 2. A middle-aged man with a sallow complexion whispered. The big-eyed boy clicked his tongue. "Captain, are we going to wait here or go out?" "Wait here, we must not go out," the man with a sallow complexion said with certainty. Although the zombies outside were all killed, Su Chen and the others had not left yet. If they went out rashly and angered the other party, they might not even know how they died. After killing the zombies, Wu Yang and the others began to dig for energy stones while Su Chen picked up the fragments. There were a total of more than 50 fragments this time, and most of them were yellow fragments with low value. Grabbing a yellow fragment, a strange voice echoed in Su Chen's mind. Picked up, apple tree seed, fragment *111. Fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Exchange for energy points. Then, he grabbed one of the red fragments. Picked up, level 1 constitution potion, *111. Fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Use. Level 1 constitution potion had not been dropped for a long time. Considering its high value, he kept it. Putting away the level 1 constitution potion, Su Chen continued to pick up fragments. Picked up, pet raising space, fragment *1, 9, 10. Fragments are not full, cannot be used, can be exchanged for energy points. Not exchanging. 9 fragments of pet raising space had been collected, and only 1 more fragment was needed. This undoubtedly made Su Chen a little excited. After a while, he calmed down and continued to pick up fragments. After more than 10 minutes, all the fragments were picked up, and most of them were exchanged for energy points. Adding the energy points obtained in Fengxi Gathering Place, the total has reached 1,800 points. Su Chen opened Doomsday Mall and checked the points of the level 4 all attributes fragment. When he saw that it only required 500 energy points, his heart was moved. However, he was not in a hurry to exchange. Although his cultivation was only level 3, his real combat power was close to level 5. In Thousand Feather Island, there was almost no existence that could threaten him. It was meaningless to exchange for it too early. It was better to save it up and exchange for the Through Heaven Hundredfold Strength technique first. After closing the Doomsday Mall, Su Chen returned to the car. Wu Yang and the others were still digging for energy stones. With the 8 of them working together, it wouldn't take long for them to finish digging, so he didn't join in. Master, I found a star congregation stone nearby. Su Chen had just gotten into the car when the intelligent war chariot suddenly spoke. Su Chen raised his eyebrows slightly and asked, "What is a star-gathering stone?" The intelligent war chariot explained, "The star-gathering stone is a very rare ore. It contains rich lightning attributes and is very useful to me." Su Chen's eyes lit up. "You mean I can level up?" "It's not an increase in level, but an increase in attack power. To be precise, it's an increase in the power of the magnetic storm net." "To what extent can it be improved?" Su Chen asked urgently. The magnetic storm net was currently able to kill level 2 zombies. If it was upgraded, wouldn't it be able to kill level 3 zombies? Moreover, it would be able to kill a large number of zombies? Enough to kill level 3 zombies. The intelligent war chariot replied affirmatively. Su Chen took a deep breath and said excitedly, "Where is the star-gathering stone?" "Master, please look at the central control screen. He has one on him." The intelligent war chariot reminded. Su Chen turned his head and saw the image on the central control screen change, and a big-eyed teenager appeared. "It's him," Su Chen whispered. Before he used his spiritual power to check. There were 3 men hiding in the small building, and one of them was this big-eyed teenager. Chapter 213. Su Chen didn't hesitate. He got out of the car and glanced at the building. "You 3 come down." "Su Chen, is there someone upstairs?" Wu Yang maintained his usual vigilance as he walked to Su Chen and asked. "It's okay, just 3 ordinary people." Su Chen replied. Knowing that it was just 3 ordinary people, Wu Yang didn't ask any more and continued to dig for energy stones. The 3 people in the small building, upon hearing Su Chen's shout, their bodies trembled. The big-eyed boy's mouth trembled. "Captain, what should we do? He seems to be calling us?" The yellow-skinned man gritted his teeth. "Let's go down and take a look. If it's a blessing, it's not a curse. If it's a curse, it can't be avoided. Since they have been discovered, if they continue to hide, it is likely to anger the other party." Soon, the yellow-skinned man and the other 2 climbed down from upstairs. "Seniors, we are just hiding from the zombies here. We have absolutely no other intentions. Please don't misunderstand," the yellow-skinned man said in fear and trepidation. Sure, Duo couldn't help but chuckle. She was only 7 years old, but she became a senior in the other party's eyes. It was really funny. "Look at how scared you are. I'm not a zombie." Seeing that the other party was trembling as if he was scared, Su Chen shook his head. Then his eyes fell on the big-eyed boy and asked, "What's your name?" "Senior, my name is Zhou Yun." The big-eyed boy quivered and hurriedly replied. "Zhou Yun, do you have a star-gathering stone on you?" Su Chen looked at Zhou Yun and asked. Zhou Yun froze for a moment. He had never heard of the name Star-Gathering Stone, but he did have a piece of ore on him. He took it out and said, "Senior, is it this ore?" Zhou Yun took out a thumb-sized stone. It was pitch black and the surface was emitting a little starlight. At first glance, it was an extraordinary item. Su Chen's eyes lit up and said to Zhou Yun, "Let me see." Zhou Yun trotted forward and presented it with both hands. Su Chen took it and looked at it, then returned to the intelligent war chariot. Zhou Yun and the other 2 didn't dare to move. They stood there stiffly. "Satoshi, is this a star-gathering stone?" Su Chen communicated with the intelligent war chariot as soon as he got on the chariot. "Yes, master." Su Chen's face lit up with joy. How many star-gathering stones do I need to upgrade the attack power of the magnetic storm electric net? I need about 20 pills. Su Chen nodded slightly, got out of the car, and came to Zhou Yun's side. Zhou Yun, where did you find this or? One piece of star congregation stone was not enough for him to level up. He needed to find more. I picked it up in a river near our rocky mound, Zhou Yun replied truthfully. There should be a lot of these ores, right? Su Chen suddenly moved and probed. Zhou Ran shook her head. There used to be a lot, but they were all dug up by the fire wolves. Even the ones we picked up in the past were snatched away by them. Hearing this, Su Chen gradually narrowed his eyes. The fire wolf gathering ground that Zhou Yun had mentioned was a place where he had snatched away the star congregation stone. This meant that the fire wolf gathering ground was a gathering ground similar to that of bandits. This was undoubtedly easy for Su Chen to deal with. Since they could rob others, others could naturally rob them. How many star-gathering stones do you have in your rocky mound? Su Chen asked after calming down. The fire wolves will ask us for ores every month. If we can't hand them over, they will kill us, so we only have this one on me, Zhou Yun said with a sad face. Chapter 214. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen called out, Captain Wu, get in the car. Yang Hao ran forward and asked in confusion, Chen Ge, don't you want the energy stones? Although they were all ordinary energy stones, there were still more than 500 left. It was still a considerable amount of wealth. If he didn't want them, wouldn't it be a waste? Su Chen blinked. There's something better waiting for us. How could ordinary energy stones be compared to the star-gathering stone? Of course, he had to get the star-gathering stone first. Yang Hao replied with an "oh," and did not ask any more questions. He turned around and got into the car. After the others got into the car one after another, Su Chen said to Zhou Yun and the other two, you guys get in too. Although Zhou Yun and the other two were a little reluctant, they did not dare to disobey Su Chen's order. They followed suit and got into the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, search for the location of the fire wolves' gathering place. Let's go immediately, Su Chen ordered. The upgraded, intelligent war chariot had a detection range of 100 kilometers. In addition, it was integrated with the map of the mysterious heavenly continent. It was easy to lock onto the fire wolves' gathering place. Yes. The intelligent war chariot ignited and sped in a direction. When Zhou Yun and the other two saw that the intelligent war chariot could not only speak human language but also drive itself, they were deeply shocked. After the intelligent war chariot drove for more than 10 minutes, the sallow man walked to Su Chen's side and asked tentatively, Senior, why are we going to the fire wolves' gathering place? Ever since they got into the car, Su Chen had not told him the reason, which made him a little worried. Of course, we're going to rob them. A meaningful smile appeared on the corner of Su Chen's mouth as he explained, if they can rob others, we can rob them too. Hearing this, the sallow man's expression changed drastically. He said anxiously, Senior, you must think twice. It was true that Su Chen's small team was very strong. However, if they were to rob a gathering place, they would be overestimating their abilities. If Su Chen and the others went by themselves, it would have nothing to do with him. But the key point was that they were also tied to this boat. Once they provoked the fire wolf gathering place, the outcome of the three of them could be imagined. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said unconcernedly, Is the strength of the fire wolf gathering place very strong? The yellow-skinned man hurriedly said, Not only do they have evolved humans, but they also have magic psychics. There are a total of 20 of them, and their leader, Yan Quan, is a powerful level 2 evolved human. After saying that, he quietly sized up Su Chen. Originally, he thought that if he revealed the strength of the fire wolves' gathering place, he would be able to make Su Chen be a little wary and get rid of the idea of heading to the fire wolves' gathering place. However, he noticed that Su Chen's expression was composed from the beginning until the end, and there was even contempt on his face as if he didn't take the gathering place of the fire wolves seriously at all. What was going on? Could it be that he was also a level 2 evolutionary? But at such a young age, it was impossible, right? The yellow-skinned man was a little confused. For a moment, he couldn't understand, so he looked at the others. What entered his eyes was a relaxed face. Even the 7 or 8-year-old girl had a trace of disdain. Why aren't they afraid at all? The yellow-skinned man was deeply puzzled. Su Chen glanced at the yellow-skinned man and knew what he was worried about. He smiled and comforted him. Don't worry, there are only benefits and no disadvantages if you follow me. I hope so. The yellow-skinned man secretly sighed. At this moment, they were also considered to be helpless and could only take one step at a time. As for the outcome, it was up to the heavens. Chapter 215. The intelligent war chariot speed was maximized. After traveling for more than an hour, they arrived in front of a city that was about the same size as the Tianan colony. Senior, this is the Fire Wolf colony. The yellow-skinned man said with a solemn expression. He seemed to have thought of what would happen next, and his emotions were in a mess. Su Chen glanced at the city gate. At this moment, there were not only a few guards, but also many civilians going in and out. When the intelligent war chariot appeared, it immediately attracted their attention and they pointed at it from time to time. Let's go down and take a look. Su Chen stood up from his seat and was the first to get out of the chariot. Yang Hao and the other two liked to be lively, so naturally, they would not miss this opportunity and followed closely behind Su Chen. Tan Lin and the other two girls also got out of the chariot while talking and laughing. The 3 of you, let's go. Wu Yang saw that Zhou Yun and the other two were a little stunned, so he reminded them. The yellow-skinned man gritted his teeth, looked at Zhou Yun and the other two and sighed. Let's go. Originally, he did not want to get out of the chariot, because if he got out of the chariot, he would have to face the people of the Fire Wolf colony, and he would undoubtedly be in the eye of the storm. However, the other party had already spoken, and if he did not do as he was told, he might be killed on the spot. When Su Chen and the others walked towards the city gate, it immediately caused a lot of whispers. Most of the discussion was about Tan Lin and Yang Qian. After all, they were both first-class beauties, so naturally, they would attract more attention. Gentlemen, what are you doing in our Fire Wolf colony? When Su Chen and the others approached, a guard in front of them asked. He had been guarding the city gate for many years, so he was very familiar with the people in the colony. Su Chen and the others were unfamiliar faces, so they were obviously not their people. Facing a group of people of unknown origin, he had to be 120% alert. Just as Su Chen was about to speak, a burly middle-aged man with a rough face walked out of the city gate. When he saw Zhou Yun and the other two, he suddenly raised his eyebrows, then his gaze fell on the yellow-skinned man, and he chuckled. Chen Tong, did you pick up an oar? You took the initiative to deliver it to me? Chen Tong's expression changed drastically when he saw the burly man. He stammered, Captain Fong, we're not here to deliver the oar. If you're not here to deliver the oars, then what the hell are you doing here? The burly man's eyes widened as he cursed. Chen Tong suddenly felt his entire body turn cold. He looked at Su Chen as if asking for help. Who is this guy? Su Chen asked in a low voice. Senior, his name is Fong Bin. He's the one who often goes to our place to steal oars. Chen Tong was so scared that he didn't dare to make a sound. Instead, it was Zhou Yun who reminded him. Su Chen nodded and looked at Fong Bin. At the same time, Fong Bin was also sizing up Su Chen and the others. When he saw Tan Lin and Yang Qian, his eyes suddenly filled with a fiery look. So beautiful! Fong Bin swallowed his saliva and walked forward. As he walked, he said, Chen Tong, the oars can wait, but I'm taking these 2 women with me. No, Captain Fong. Chen Tong was very anxious. Su Chen and the others were all evolvers. If Fong Bin dared to be presumptuous, a fight would definitely break out. When the time came, they would be implicated as well. F***, you son of a bitch. Who are you to say no to the people I like? Fong Bin scolded angrily. In the territory of the Fire Wolf Gathering Grounds, even if the Heavenly King himself came, he would still snatch Tan Lin and Yang Qian, these 2 beautiful women. Tan Lin and Yang Qian's faces were filled with anger. The two of them looked at each other and took out their pulse pistols at the same time. Just as they were about to shoot Fang Bin, Su Chen's eyes flashed coldly. As he released his psychic power, he said to Chao Ran, "Chao Ran, gouge out his dog eyes." Chapter 216. Chao Ran had wanted to do this for a long time. When Su Chen gave the order, that the netherworld dagger in his hand suddenly disappeared. When Fang Bin was excitedly walking forward, he suddenly realized that his whole body seemed to be imprisoned by something, and he couldn't move at all. Before he could react, a dagger with cold light suddenly appeared in front of him. Then, with two pops, his eyes turned into two bloody holes. My eyes. Fang Bin's face was covered in blood, and he looked ferocious as he let out a heart-wrenching scream. Su Chen snorted coldly and gave Sherdaniu a look. "Daniu, kill him." Sherdaniu rushed forward with the sky hammer and smashed it down on Fang Bin. Bang! Fang Bin's huge body suddenly turned into a pile of minced meat. Hiss! The onlookers at the city gate all sucked in a breath of cold air. It happened too suddenly, and by the time they reacted, Fang Bin had already died tragically in front of them. Chen Tong was so scared that his scalp was about to explode, and his heart sank to the bottom. Fang Bin wasn't an ordinary person, but the nephew of Fang Chengwu, the leader of the Fire Wolf colony. How could Fang Chengwu let them go when he was killed in front of his own home? With Fang Chengwu's ruthless way of doing things, not only would they die, but they would also implicate the people at the Rocky Mound. He didn't care if others were implicated, but his family was still there. What should we do? Chen Tong's face was extremely ugly, and his mind was spinning. At the same time, there was a commotion at the city gate. The onlookers gathered in twos and threes to discuss. Oh my God! Poor they. They even dared to kill Fang Bin. Are they tired of living? Lower your voice. They even dared to kill Fang Bin. If they hear you, be careful of your life. What's there to be afraid of? Do you think Boss Fang will let them go? That's right. Boss Fang is a level 2 evolver. He will definitely avenge Fang Bin. After the guards looked at each other, one of them rushed into the city. Another guard grasped a saber and pointed it at Su Chen as he angrily rebuked, "Audacious madman, you actually dare to behave atrociously in my Firewolf gathering grounds? Quickly surrender." Su Chen looked at him as if he was looking at an idiot. He seriously wondered if there was something wrong with this guard's brain. The fact that Fang Bin was killed so easily proved that they had evolved humans on their side. You are just a small guard. Where did you get the courage to question an evolved being? You can't blame others for wanting to die. Su Chen snorted coldly and didn't bother being polite with him. His spiritual force instantly oppressed the guard's body. The next moment, a strange scene appeared. Amidst the crackling sounds of bones breaking, this guard was crushed into a pile of meat paste in the blink of an eye, ending up in the same state as Fang Bin. *CK. How did he die? I don't know, it's too strange. It's too scary. The inexplicable death of the guard impacted the minds of everyone present, causing them to be extremely terrified. Who is it? Who dares to kill Fang Bin's nephew? I'll tear him to shreds. At this moment, another angry roar came from within the city. Then, a figure the size of a small mountain rushed towards the city gate. Before the person arrived, a huge wave of pressure rushed over first. The pressure made the onlookers at the city gate unable to breathe, and they all dodged. Chapter 217. Chief Fang, it's them. They killed Captain Fang. Chen Tong's face was gloomy. When he saw Fang Chengwu rushing over with a group of experts, he ran up without hesitation and pointed at Su Chen and the others. The other person who was with him also ran over. The only one who didn't move was Zhou Yun. Zhou Yun's face suddenly changed. He yelled at Chen Tong, "Captain, what are you doing?" Chen Tong's action was tantamount to betraying them, which made Zhou Yun despise and angry. Su Chen didn't say anything, but his face was as gloomy as water. He had saved Chen Tong's life. If they didn't hurry over, Chen Tong and the other two would definitely be trapped by zombies. Chen Tong, on the other hand, didn't know how to be grateful, and even made a false countercharge. Zhou Yun, What are you doing? Get your ass over here. Seeing Zhou Yun standing still, Chen Tong yelled at him. Chen Tong did that because he felt that although Su Chen and the others were all evolvers, they were definitely no match for Fang Bin and the others. If he didn't choose a side early, he might not be able to escape death. Captain, you're stupid. Zhou Yun was so angry that the corners of his mouth were trembling. Su Chen was obviously here to help them, but Chen Tong chose to stand on Fang Chengwu's side. What was the difference between him and a treacherous villain? Although he didn't think that Su Chen could be a match for Fang Chengwu, he wouldn't be a villain like Chen Tong, even if he had to die. Fang Chengwu was an old man with a rougher face than Fang Bin. His body was like an iron tower, comparable to Shi Dainyu. At the moment, his face was gloomy. He glanced at Chen Tong, then at Su Chen and the others. He said harshly, "Who killed Fang Bin? Come out and face your death." "Grandpa did it. What do you want?" Shi Dainyu took a step forward and snorted coldly. He had been with Su Chen for a long time, and his character had been changing imperceptibly. He was no longer as timid and fearful as before. Instead, he had become even more unyielding, confident, and even a little arrogant. Has this kid been enlightened? Su Chen glanced at Shi Dainyu, rubbed his nose, and muttered to himself. He still remembered clearly that Shi Dainyu had been a little timid when he killed Qin Lang in King Kong City. In the blink of an eye, he already dared to take the initiative to stand out and confront the powerhouses. It had to be said that Shi Dainyu had changed a lot. However, this was what Su Chen wanted to see. Because in this post-apocalyptic world, if you blindly choose to retreat, you would only be at the mercy of others. Only by displaying one's formidable strength would one be able to strike fear into the hearts of these rascals. "Brat, you're King courting death." A fierce-looking young man next to Fang Chengwu licked his lips and rushed toward Shi Dainyu with a machete in his hand. This was the best time to show off. As long as he killed Shi Dainyu, he would leave a good impression on Fang Chengwu. As a result, his status in the Fire Wolf gathering place would also rise. Without saying a word, Shi Dainyu raised the heaven-reaching hammer and smashed it down on the young man's head. When the machete and the hammer collided, there was a cracking sound. The young man's machete was smashed into several pieces. Oh no! The young man was scared out of his wits. He let go of the machete and tried to run back. However, Shi Dainyu's hammer was extremely powerful. As it smashed the machete, it pressed down on the young man. There was a loud bang. The young man had no time to dodge. He was hit by the hammer and was sent flying. Chapter 218. In fact, Shi Dainyu and the young man were both level 1 evolvers, and their strength was about the same. However, Shi Dainyu was strong and could crush his opponent in terms of strength. In addition, the sky hammer was an item dropped from the fragment. It was equivalent to a divine weapon and weighed 380 kilograms. It was reasonable for it to be able to smash the young man's saber and send him flying. This guy is so strong. Is he a level 2 evolver? The onlookers were inexplicably frightened and began to discuss again. It could be said that the impact of Shi Dainyu's hammer was far greater than that of the death of Fang Bin and the guard. After all, Fang Bin and the guard were ordinary people, but the young man was a level 1 evolver. Even so, he was still sent flying by the hammer, and it was unknown whether he was dead or alive. It could be seen how strong Shi Dainyu was. Fang Chengwu's expression changed, but it was immediately replaced by a touch of ruthlessness. He could see that Shi Dainyu was only a level 1 evolver. So what if he was stronger than an ordinary level 1 evolver? He was a level 2 evolver, enough to crush any level 1 evolver. Arrogant. Fang Chengwu was furious. He clenched his fist and rushed toward Shi Dainyu, vowing to kill him with one punch. The other level 1 evolvers of the Fire Wolves also moved at this moment. Surrounding Shi Dainyu knew that he was no match for so many strong people. However, he didn't choose to retreat. He gritted his teeth and held the sky hammer, ready to fight. However, at this moment, Su Chen spoke. "Dainyu, step back." Shi Dainyu would not be a match for a level 2 evolver, let alone a group of people. He was worried that Shi Dainyu would be at a disadvantage, so he decided to take action himself. When Sherdaniu retreated, Su Chen raised his hand and shot out a wind blade. Wind blade technique. Fang Chengwu was frightened when he sensed the terrifying magic fluctuations contained in the wind blade. He took out a saber from his waist without hesitation and blocked in front of him. The others also held their weapons and slashed at the wind blades. Their reaction wasn't slow, and they were very experienced in dealing with it. However, there was one thing that they absolutely did not expect. Su Chen's wind blade was a level 3 spell. How could they block it? In the next moment, a series of cracking sounds could be heard. The weapons of Fang Chengwu and the others, including their bodies, were all cut in half. Level 3 spell. He's a level 3 spellcaster. Such a thought popped up in Fang Chengwu's mind. Then, his consciousness became blurry until he died. Following the death of Fang Chengwu and the others, the entire city gate fell into a strange silence. The onlookers didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Moreover, their minds were in a mess, like a pile of paste. One strike, just one strike, easily killed a level 2 evolver and several level 1 evolvers. His powerful strength was undoubtedly revealed. How terrifying! Obviously, Su Chen's strength was completely beyond their imagination. Everyone's heart was shrouded in a deep layer of fear. Chen Tong swallowed his saliva with difficulty. His face was extremely ugly, and his intestines were turning green with regret. If he had known that Su Chen was so powerful, he wouldn't have stood on Fang Chengwu's side. Now that Fang Chengwu had died on the spot, he had lost his backing. It was easy to imagine what would happen to him. However, he didn't want to die. Pluck. Chen Tong knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing to Su Chen. He shouted, "Senior, I was muddle-headed. Please be merciful and spare my life." In order to survive, he no longer cared about his old face. Chapter 219. Su Chen coldly glanced at him and punched from afar. A strong gust of wind blew past, directly smashing Chen Tong and the other person on the rocky mound into a bloody mess, dying on the spot. A fence-sitter like Chen Tong was a scourge if he was left alive. Of course, he had to get rid of the weeds by the roots to prevent future troubles. After killing Chen Tong, Su Chen swept his gaze across the battlefield. No one dared to look him in the eye. Who is the vice leader of the Fire Wolves mercenaries? Step forward. Su Chen raised his voice and asked after looking around. After a long time, no one dared to step forward. Senior, you've already killed the 2 deputy leaders, Zhou Yun reminded. Hearing this, Su Chen frowned. The Fire Wolves' gathering place was like a pack of dragons without a leader, so who could he ask for the Star Congregation Stone from? Could it be that he had to search for it himself? This was too troublesome and a waste of time. After pondering for a while, Su Chen spoke again. Who among you is an evolver? Step forward. If you hide anything from me, don't blame me for being impolite. As soon as these words were spoken, 3 people in the crowd could no longer remain calm. They looked at each other, then stepped forward and said respectfully to Su Chen, "Senior, we are all level 1 evolvers." Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice, "Are there only 3 evolvers in the Fire Wolf gathering place?" Before coming here, he had heard from Chen Tong that there were 20 evolvers and magicians in the Fire Wolf gathering place. Even if he killed some of them, he couldn't let only 3 of them remain. A middle-aged man in a gray robe hurriedly replied, "Senior, 2 of them went out on a mission, and a few went to Tongtian City in Yulin District." Sky Connect City. Su Chen pondered for a moment before asking, "What's your relationship with Sky Connect City?" He had quite a bit of history with Heaven Connect City, and he had killed quite a few people from Heaven Connect City. "We only have a trade relationship with Heaven Connect City. Did they buy all the ores we produce here?" The gray-robed man replied in a trembling voice. "The ore you mentioned, is it this?" Su Chen took out the Star Congregation Stone and placed it in his hand. He was now a little worried. If Clear Heaven City bought all the Star Congregation Stones, wouldn't this trip be in vain? "Yes, it's this kind of ore." The gray-clothed man hurriedly nodded. Su Chen frowned and probed, "Then does your Fire Wolf settlement have any more of these ores?" "There are still some, but very few." "How many?" Su Chen asked anxiously. The gray-clothed man thought for a moment and replied, "About 20 pieces." Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief. More than 20 pieces were enough to upgrade the magnetic storm grid of the intelligent chariot. "Bring all the ores over right now. Be quick," Su Chen said as he stared at the gray-clothed man. "Yes." The gray-robed man turned around and ran into the city. After the gray-clothed man left, Su Chen stared at the remaining 2 evolvers and asked, "How many ores did you sell to Sky Connect City?" Since the Star Congregation Stone was used to upgrade the magnetic storm grid, he naturally wouldn't miss it. If Sky Connect City obtained a lot, he would have to make a trip to Sky Connect City. "About 1,000 pieces," one of them bowed and replied. "So many?" Su Chen raised an eyebrow. 1,000 pieces was enough to tempt him. At this moment, he decided to make a trip to Sky Connect City. After waiting for a while, the gray-clothed man hurriedly ran back. When he came to Su Chen's side, he directly handed a cloth bag to Su Chen and said, "Senior, all the ores are inside. Not a single piece is left out." Chapter 220. Su Chen released his mental power and scanned the bag. He found a total of 27 star-gathering stones, and the corner of his mouth rose slightly. He then asked, "What's your name?" "I'm Fengzhi." The man in gray cupped his hands. Su Chen sized him up and said loudly, "From today onwards, you are the new leader of the Fire Wolf Gathering Place." Fengzhi was stunned. Su Chen then looked at the other 2 evolvers. "The 2 of you are the deputy leaders." "Thank you, Senior." The 2 of them were pleasantly surprised and kept thanking Su Chen. Although Su Chen was not a member of the Fire Wolf Gathering Place, logically speaking, he did not have the right to appoint the leader and deputy leader. However, in the apocalypse, whoever had the hardest fist had the right to speak. Su Chen's strength was unparalleled. His words were enough to deter anyone, and no one dared to refute him. "Senior, I, Fengzhi, will follow Senior's lead in the future." Fengzhi recovered and said excitedly. Becoming the leader of the gathering place meant that he had unlimited power. Everyone had to listen to him. In the past, he did not even dare to think about it. Now, Su Chen gave him a chance. At this moment, he was extremely respectful and grateful to Su Chen. Su Chen waved his hand and pulled Zhou Yun to his side. "Zhou Yun is also my friend. I'll leave him in your care in the future. If anything goes wrong, he." Speaking up to this point, he stopped, but the meaning was self-evident. Fengzhi's expression froze, and he hurriedly promised, "Senior, don't worry. If anything happens to Zhou Yun, you can hold me accountable." Su Chen nodded. "I'll come back to take a look when I have time." Although the words were short, the meaning was not simple. It carried a hidden warning. It could be considered that he helped Zhou Yun again before he left. As soon as he finished speaking, he led everyone into the car and left the base where the waves of fire gathered. When the intelligent war chariot disappeared from sight, the crowd at the city gate breathed a sigh of relief. Even Fengzhi and the other 2 heaved sighs of relief. On the intelligent war chariot, Zhou Yun looked at Su Chen in a daze and said sincerely, "Senior, thank you." Su Chen's words meant that no one would dare to humiliate him in the future. Even the people at the Rocky Mound would benefit a lot from it. "Don't worry about it." Su Chen smiled. The reason why he wanted to help Zhou Yun was because of the Star Congregation Stone. Then there was the affirmation of Zhou Yun's previous performance. Even when Qin Tong and the other 2 switched sides to Fang Qinggu, he still resolutely stood on his side. Just based on this, it was worth Su Chen helping him once. The Rocky Mound was on the route to Etian City, so it was just right to send Zhou Yun back. When they arrived near the Rocky Mound, Zhou Yun got out of the car. Before he left, Su Chen gave him a bottle of Level 1 Constitution Potion. Although the Level 1 Constitution Potion was precious, he still had a lot on him. The others were all evolved people, so it was not useful to keep it. On the other hand, he always felt that he had some fate with Zhou Yun, so he would give him an opportunity. After watching Su Chen leave, Zhou Yun glanced at the glass bottle in his hand, then raised his head and drank it without hesitation. When Su Chen gave him the level 1 constitution potion, he did not tell him its effect. Zhou Yun did not know what it was for, but he believed that something given by a senior like Su Chen would definitely not be bad. Not long after he drank it, Zhou Yun's eyes suddenly lit up, and he muttered, "Evolved person." Then he knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times in the direction Su Chen left. He secretly swore in his heart that if he had the chance, he would repay Su Chen's great kindness. Chapter 221. After leaving the Rocky Mound, the intelligent war chariot went straight to Etion City. Su Chen took out the star-gathering stone. After upgrading the magnetic storm grid, he communicated with the intelligent war chariot. "Satoshi, how many star-gathering stones do I need to upgrade the magnetic storm grid?" "I need 200 star-gathering stones," the intelligent war chariot replied. Su Chen pondered. Tongtian City took away 1,000 star-gathering stones. Even if it was consumed, there would still be 200 left. In this way, the star-gathering stones needed for the next upgrade of the magnetic storm grid would be settled. After that, Su Chen looked at the central control screen again and began to look for the whereabouts of zombies and mutant beasts. Soon he found a group of about 300 zombies about 100 kilometers away from him. Originally, he didn't care about such a small group of zombies. However, this group of zombies happened to be on the way, and there was no need to change direction. He decided to kill them along the way. "Satoshi, lock onto this group of zombies and drive over," Su Chen ordered. "Roger that." The intelligent war chariot sped away at full speed. An hour later, the intelligent war chariot caught up with the group of zombies. Su Chen personally took action and killed the group of zombies in an instant. After picking up the fragments and digging up the energy stones, the intelligent war chariot continued on its way. During this period, they encountered several groups of zombies in succession. However, the number of zombies was not large. The largest group was only about 500 zombies. They were all killed by Su Chen and the others one by one. In addition to obtaining a large number of energy stones, Su Chen's energy points had once again exceeded 2,000. The harvest was quite good. The next day, it was still the same as usual. If they encountered a group of zombies, they would stop and hunt. If they didn't encounter any, they would continue to move towards Etion City. At noon, the intelligent war chariot slowly drove into an abandoned town. Su Chen had nothing to do, so he glanced at the central control screen. When he saw a black and a blue light spot on the central control screen, his eyes suddenly lit up. The blue dot represented humans. He didn't care at all. However, the black dots were different. They represented creatures of other races. Su Chen had encountered 2 alien creatures before. The first was a blood plant, and the second was a night demon woman. It could be said that he had gained a lot from these 2 times. After killing the blood plant, 10 fragments and a demonic core were dropped, which enabled the intelligent war chariot to activate its self-repair function. From the woman from the Night Demon clan, he learned about the 5 superclans, which gave him a clear understanding of the situation in this world. He was quite surprised and excited to be able to encounter another foreign race being. "Satoshi, stop the car near this black spot," Su Chen instructed. "Yes, master." The intelligent war chariot changed its route and headed straight for the black spot. 10 minutes later, after passing through several streets, the intelligent chariot stopped in front of a residential building. Su Chen glanced outside and found that the residential building had 5 floors and was well preserved. The central control screen showed that the black and blue dots were in a room on the 5th floor. "Chin Ge, did you find zombies?" "Yang Hawat." The intelligent war chariot wouldn't stop for no reason. Once it stopped, it meant that there were zombies nearby. "It's not zombies." Su Chen shook his head and then said, "Wait in the car. I'll go out and take care of something." As soon as he finished speaking, he opened the car door and got out. He walked straight to the residential building. In the blink of an eye, he entered the corridor and disappeared. Chapter 222. The corridor was dark and quiet, and it was filled with a strange aura. Su Chen glanced at it, but did not care much and stepped on the stairs to the 5th floor. A minute later he came to a room on the 5th floor and stopped. Previously, through the observation on the control screen, the blue and black dots were in this room. Then he released his spiritual power, ready to explore the situation inside. Unexpectedly, as soon as he released his mental power, he sensed another wave of mental power. There is a spirit reader. Su Chen's eyelids jumped. The number of spirit readers is very small. Since transmigrating to this world, this is the first time he has encountered a spirit reader. Although Tan Lin and Yang Qian are also spirit readers, but they are too weak, directly ignored by him. But the spiritual power coming from the room is very strong. It seems to have reached the level of a level 3 spirit reader. To be able to meet a level 3 spirit reader, Su Chen is quite surprised. Intuition tells him that the level 3 spirit reader in the room is very likely to be the alien creature. Thinking of this, he did not continue to explore, lifted his foot and kicked the door. Just as the door was about to shatter into pieces, an invisible force came crashing down on him. Sure enough, it is a level 3 spirit reader. Su Chen sneered, releasing his spiritual power to block this huge force outside of his body. Because both of them are level 3 spirit readers, their spiritual power is also between the same level, temporarily in a stalemate. You are also a level 3 spirit reader. At this moment, a man suddenly exclaimed in the room. Su Chen glanced around the room. When he saw the situation inside, he raised his eyebrows slightly. He saw, in the room, in addition to a white-haired, sage-like old man, there is also an unknown green plant. This plant is more than half a meter tall, growing in a flower pot. The trunk is the thickness of an arm, on top of which there are 10 green fruits. Each of them exudes a strong breath of life, making people feel refreshed and full of vitality. What is more strange is that in the center of the trunk, there is a human face. It looks like an old man. Demon plant. Su Chen muttered. The blood plant he had encountered earlier also had a human face, so he assumed that it was a demonic plant. Kid, who are you? Why have you barged into my territory? The white-haired old man in the room sized up Su Chen and questioned him with a grave expression. In his eyes, Su Chen was very young, but his spiritual power was very strong. He was not below him at all. It was very likely that he was also a level 3 spirit reader master. Such a young level 3 spirit reader master, he couldn't help but be somewhat afraid. Looks like you're the level 3 spirit reader master. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said lightly. Originally, he had thought that the alien creature was a level 3 telekinesis master, but obviously he had guessed wrong. The human elder in front of him was only a level 3 spirit reader master. Kid, what are you trying to do? Seeing that Su Chen was not afraid and did not take him seriously, the white-haired old man was a little angry. Old man, where did you get that demonic plant from? Su Chen asked with a smile. You know about demonic plants? The white-haired old man's expression turned serious, a hint of murderous intent quietly appearing on his face. Demonic plants belonged to the alien species, and very few people knew about them. The demonic plant in the room was the best of the best, and it was very important to him. He would never allow anyone to spy on it. Chapter 223. Kid, leave this place immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. The white-haired old man threatened. Without knowing Su Chen's actual strength, he decided to use peaceful means before resorting to force. There were people who threatened me like you, but they were all crushed to death by me. Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly as he sneered. The white-haired old man was a true level 3 spirit reader. In the eyes of others, he was definitely a top-notch expert. But in his eyes, it was not enough. If not for the fact that he wanted to know the origin of this demon plant, he could have killed it in one move. Since you don't know what's good for you, then die. The white-haired old man's face was ferocious. He held a pitch-black dagger and rushed towards Su Chen. A level 1 evolver? Su Chen was surprised. Judging from the opponent's speed, it was likely that he was a level 1 evolver. This was out of his expectations. Because the white-haired old man was a level 3 spirit reader, He must have spent a lot of time cultivating his spiritual power. Logically speaking, he should not have had time to cultivate his physical body. For this to happen, it could only mean that the white-haired old man's talent was a cut above others. He was considered a genius. However, if he wanted to hurt him with this bit of strength, it was a bit wishful thinking. Su Chen rubbed his nose and did not move. He quietly waited for the opponent to rush over. Seeing that Su Chen did not dodge, the white-haired old man thought that Su Chen was scared out of his wits. He was overjoyed, and a cruel smile appeared on his face. "Go to hell!" The white-haired old man rushed forward and stabbed at Su Chen's head with his dagger. Gotcha! The expected scene of Su Chen being stabbed did not happen. Instead, the dagger in the white-haired old man's hand was broken into 2 pieces. Even his hand was shattered. How is this possible? How can your physical body be so strong? The white-haired old man took a few steps back and looked at Su Chen in horror as if he had seen a ghost. Although he was only a level 1 evolver, even a level 4 evolver would be injured if he didn't dodge and let him attack as he pleased. On the other hand, Su Chen was not injured at all. Instead, he was injured. This was too inconceivable. He even suspected that Su Chen was an evolver above level 5. Su Chen had the ancient godly demon body, which was known as the invincible body. Against opponents of the same level, regardless of whether it was physical attacks, magical attacks, spiritual attacks, or poison, they were all negligible. What's more, the white-haired old man's cultivation was far below Su Chen's, let alone injuring Su Chen. What a strong physical body. Even level 4 evolvers can't have a stronger body. When the demon plant saw this scene, it was so surprised that it could not close its mouth. It looked at Su Chen with eyes full of awe. "Old thing, tell me the origin and use of that demon plant honestly. Otherwise, I'm going to make a move." Su Chen rubbed his nose and said mockingly. The fruit produced by the demon plant exuded a strong aura of life. It was definitely not an ordinary fruit. He had to figure it out. Hearing this, the white-haired old man's face changed. He seemed to have made up his mind. He gritted his teeth and said, "I can tell you, but I have to take half of the fruit. You want to bargain with me? It seems that you haven't understood your position." Su Chen snorted coldly and took a step forward. A violent murderous aura swept out and immediately suppressed the white-haired old man to the point that he could not breathe. Then, the white-haired old man looked at him in horror. Su Chen rushed forward and grabbed one of the white-haired old man's arms, squeezing it hard. Crack! The crisp sound of bones cracking echoed in the room. Chapter 224. Ah! The white-haired elder screamed, and his entire face was distorted. The monster plant at the side was also trembling in fear. It exclaimed, "He's also a level 3 evolved being." It was extremely shocked when it thought of how Su Chen was so young but had 2 major professions and had reached level 3 in both professions. Su Chen heard the sound and glanced at the monster plant. He said softly, "You can speak? You should know where you came from, right?" The monster plant's language was different from human language. If it was someone else, they would not be able to understand it. However, Su Chen had integrated universal terminology and was proficient in all the languages in the world. Naturally, he could understand the monster plant's language. "Senior, you can speak the monster plant's language?" The monster plant widened its eyes and was so surprised that it could not close its mouth. The young man in front of it was not only powerful, but he could also speak the monster plant's language. It was simply unbelievable. "I'm asking you if you know where you came from." "Cut the crap." Su Chen's face darkened, and his voice was cold. If the monster plant knew where he came from, then there was no need for the white-haired elder to stay. On the other hand, if the monster plant was as ignorant as the blood plant, then he would have to pry open the white-haired elder's mouth. The monster plant was shocked and hurriedly replied, "Senior, I know." Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He turned around and looked at the white-haired elder. Then he raised his hand and shot out a wind blade, killing the elder cleanly on the spot. Seeing this, the monster plant was a little stunned. "What's going on? Is it that I'm old and dizzy? How can he use spells to attack? Oh my god. He's a full-time cultivator. Even though it had lived for countless years, it had never seen a full-time cultivator. It had never even heard of one. Moreover, Su Chen looked like he was less than 20 years old. A full-time cultivator who was less than 20 years old. Moreover, he had reached level 3 in every aspect. This was no longer a genius. It was not even enough to describe him as a monster. The monster plant stared at Su Chen in a daze. Its heart was in turmoil, unable to calm down for a long time. Why don't you tell me where you came from? Su Chen walked up to the demonic plant and asked in a low voice. The monster plant regained its senses and replied fearfully, Senior, I belong to the monster plant lineage. I am a longevity fruit tree. What is a longevity fruit tree? Su Chen was very curious. The fruits that I bear can increase one's lifespan after consuming them. Every ripe fruit can increase one's lifespan by 10 years. Moreover, the effects can be stacked indefinitely, the monster plant explained. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up, and even his heart started to beat wildly. At first, he felt that this monster plant was not simple, but he never expected it to be this complicated. What did it mean to be able to increase one's lifespan? Everyone knew that in this world, other than zombies, humans, mutant beasts, and other races all had limited lifespans. Even the most powerful cultivators could not escape the ravages of time and would eventually turn into a pile of dirt. Consuming a longevity fruit could increase one's lifespan by 10 years. Moreover, the effects could be stacked indefinitely. Did that not mean that as long as this longevity fruit tree existed, it could live forever, compete with the sun and the moon, and resonate with heaven and earth? Su Chen took a deep breath and calmed himself down. He asked again, how many times can you bear fruits in your life, and how long does it take for the fruits to mature? Both of these points were very important. This was because if the longevity fruit tree could only bear fruits once in its life, and it needed a long time to mature, then its effect would be very limited. Chapter 225. As long as I'm alive, I can continue to bear longevity fruits. The cycle is once every 10 years, the monster plant replied. Not bad. Su Chen nodded slightly, a smile quietly crossing the corner of his mouth. The longevity fruit tree could bear fruits continuously and could bear fruits once every 10 years. It was enough for him and the people around him to use. He was very satisfied with this result. How long until the fruits that you bear now reach maturity? Su Chen asked. The longevity fruit tree had already borne 10 fruits. Judging from the life aura that it was emitting, it had matured. 5 more years until it reaches maturity. Su Chen memorized it and asked, how many longevity fruit trees are there in your monster plant lineage? Although I don't have any combat power, my ability is considered to be heaven-defying. Any monster plant that has heaven-defying ability is unique, the longevity fruit tree said proudly. Although the longevity fruit tree was a little pretentious, Su Chen didn't mind. After all, the longevity fruit tree did have the right to be pretentious. Then, are there any other types of monster plants that have heaven-defying abilities like you? Su Chen asked. There are, but not many. The longevity fruit tree thought for a while and replied, there are also essence fruit tree, demonic fruit tree, and power fruit tree. What are their specific effects? Su Chen asked calmly. Essence fruit can increase mental strength, demonic fruit can increase magical strength, and power fruit can increase physical strength, the longevity fruit tree explained. Hearing this, Su Chen took a deep breath and a look of excitement appeared on his face. These few types of fruit trees could be said to be rare spiritual items in the world. If he could collect all of them, his strength would definitely soar. Do you know where they are? Su Chen asked anxiously. I don't know, the longevity fruit tree replied. Su Chen was slightly disappointed, but then he thought that it was already a great fortune to be able to come across a longevity fruit tree. A man who was never content was like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. If he was too persistent, it would be counterproductive. After calming down, Su Chen asked, how did you get here? He was caught by that little guy. The longevity fruit tree stretched out a branch and pointed at the white-haired old man. As an existence that had lived for countless years, it was reasonable for it to call the white-haired old man a little fellow. However, Su Chen already knew about this. This was not the answer he was looking for, so he asked in a deep voice, "What I meant was, how did you come to the mysterious heavenly mainland from the monster plant continent?" "He was brought here by an expert of our plant beast." The longevity fruit tree immediately replied after collecting its thoughts. Su Chen nodded. It was reasonable for a spiritual object like the longevity fruit tree to attract the attention of others. His guess was that the monster plant expert must have stolen the longevity fruit tree and fled to the innate continent because he couldn't survive in the monster plant continent anymore. Where did the demon plant expert that brought you here go? It's dead. Did it die when passing through the boundary passage? Su Chen asked casually. The boundary passage was the entrance and exit that connected two worlds. Before it was completely stabilized, it could not be passed through casually. Moreover, the stronger one was, the more difficult it was to pass through. It was not impossible for one to be killed by the boundary passage's power. It was killed by the boundary passage's power. However, it was mainly because it was severely injured by many experts from other clans before passing through the boundary passage, the longevity fruit tree said slowly. Chapter 226. Injured by experts from other clans? Su Chen frowned as he muttered to himself. How could there be other clans on the monster plant continent? With doubts in his heart, Su Chen asked, how did the experts from other clans enter the monster plant continent? Those super clans coveted our clan's sacred item and worked together to create a boundary passage. That's how they could enter the monster plant continent, the longevity fruit tree explained. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. According to what the longevity fruit tree said, his previous guess was completely wrong. The monster plant expert did not escape to steal the longevity fruit tree. He must have been forced to enter the mysterious heavenly mainland to protect the clan's sacred item. The sacred item was naturally the longevity fruit tree and the other spirit trees. Thinking of this, Su Chen was a little uneasy. He looked at the longevity fruit tree and asked, "That monster plant expert didn't only bring you out, right?" "Yes, including me, the essence fruit tree and the other spirit trees were all brought out," the longevity fruit tree replied affirmatively. Upon hearing this, Su Chen's breathing became a little heavy as he clenched his fists tightly. Before this, he did not plan to look for the other spirit trees because he thought they must be in the monster plant continent. Since they were in different worlds, the possibility of finding them was very slim. It was basically a waste of time. However, it was different now. Since he had appeared in the mysterious heavenly mainland, he could not miss this opportunity. Of course, the mysterious heavenly mainland was vast and boundless. It was also very difficult to find them. He could only search with all his might. If he could not find them, it could only mean that he was not fated to find them. After taking a deep breath, Su Chen continued to ask, "Did the monster plant expert bring out the blood plant?" The blood plant is considered to be one of the strongest among the monster plants. "Of course, he brought it out," the longevity fruit tree replied. Su Chen had killed a blood plant before. Initially, he did not know the origin of the blood plant. Now that he thought about it, it must have been brought out by the monster plant expert and was stranded on Qinyu Island. Moreover, he also thought that the foreign clans frequently appeared in the mysterious heavenly mainland because of the monster plant clan's sacred items. "Little Shou, are you willing to follow me?" Su Chen looked at the longevity fruit tree quietly. With the longevity fruit tree's ability, it was fully qualified to stay by his side. As for his own people, Su Chen often addressed them in a very cordial manner. For example, Xiao Tai, the mechanical soldier, and Satoshi, the intelligent chariot. The three mutated wolves were Little Green, Little White, and Little Fire. Of course, he was using peaceful means before resorting to force. If the longevity fruit tree knew what was good for it, everything would be fine. If it didn't agree, it wouldn't be up to it. "Master, I'm willing to follow you," the longevity fruit tree immediately replied. It knew very well that it was no longer a sacred creature of the monster plant clan. It did not have much of a choice. and Su Chen was the most powerful person it had ever seen. At the very least, its safety would be guaranteed if it followed such a powerful person. All right. Su Chen smiled cheerfully. The longevity fruit tree's answer satisfied him. Later, he used an upgrade gem to expand the planting space to 30 cubic meters. The extra space was reserved for the longevity fruit tree. After settling the longevity fruit tree, Su Chen left the residential building and returned to the intelligent chariot. Satoshi, let's continue our journey. Su Chen immediately ordered as soon as he got into the chariot. Yes. The intelligent chariot ignited and started moving forward according to the original route. Chapter 227. Chingu, what happened? Chao ran and the other two walked to Su Chen with a smile. Su Chen had been smiling since he got on the car, which made them very curious. You will know in the future. Su Chen smiled and did not explain. Although they did not get the fragment, they did get a longevity fruit tree. Its value was unimaginable. He would not tell them for the time being. If it was leaked, it might cause unnecessary trouble. Chao ran and the other two did not ask much. Then they returned to their original position and gathered together to chat. Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and looked at the central control screen, continuing to look for the whereabouts of zombies and mutant beasts. In the next few days, they encountered fewer zombies and mutant beasts, so Su Chen did not gain much. On the fourth day, the intelligent chariot finally arrived at Etion City. Etion City was built at the foot of a mountain, and the size of the city was almost the same as Fengshi Gathering Place. A thin layer of gray fog floated above the city, making it look somewhat mysterious. The intelligent chariot stopped 1 mile away from Etion City. Su Chen got out of the car and looked at Etion City. The gate of Etion City was open, and a large number of zombies could be seen faintly inside. As Han Kun said, those zombies seemed to be restrained, and none of them walked out of the city. Su Chen looked away and said to the people in the car, "You stay in the car, I will go and see the situation." After saying that, he ran toward Etion City. When he came to the gate, the zombies inside found Su Chen and roared at him. Seeing this, Su Chen pondered. Compared to the zombies in the deep pit in the Huangzi mountain range, the zombies in Etion City were obviously more restrained. If it were the deep pit in the Huangzi mountain range, those zombies would definitely rush out when they saw him. On the other hand, although the zombies here were also extremely angry and even looked at him with bloodthirsty eyes, none of them rushed out. Su Chen waited for a while. Seeing that the zombies still refused to come out, he didn't want to wait any longer. He was here to kill zombies. Sooner or later, he would have to do it. He wanted to see how long those zombies could endure. Condensing a fireball in his palm, Su Chen aimed at the zombie at the front, raised his hand and shot it. Rumble! A loud explosion rang out. The fireball fell into the zombies and exploded, killing dozens of zombies on the spot and injuring countless zombies. Roar! Then, a furious roar reverberated throughout the city. All the zombies were angry and crazy. They bared their teeth and roared at Su Chen. However, they still showed no signs of rushing out. Let's see how long you can endure this. Su Chen coldly snorted, raising his hand and shooting out another fireball. Boom! The fireball exploded, killing dozens of zombies again. Then, he used Wind Blade and Violent Thunder technique. In less than a minute, he had killed more than 400 zombies. There were also more than 50 fragments that were dropped. Su Chen was not in a hurry to pick them up. He continued to release spells to kill the zombies. He had figured it out. It didn't matter if the zombies didn't come out. He would just keep killing. Anyway, the zombies couldn't run away. Sooner or later he would kill them all. After another round of attacks, close to 1,000 zombies had been killed. At this time, a man suddenly roared angrily in the city. "Human, you've gone too far. Do you really think that our Etion City is easy to bully? I'm bullying you. So what? Come out and bite me." Su Chen raised his voice and provoked. He had already guessed that there was an intelligent zombie here. However, this guy was really good at enduring. He waited until 1,000 zombies were killed before he was willing to come out. Chapter 228. Soon, a short figure slowly walked out from the group of zombies. It stopped at the city gate and looked at Su Chen. Su Chen also squinted his eyes to observe the other party. The zombie in front of him was only about 1.5 meters tall and was very thin. His withered face was covered with black threads, which made him look a little frightening. "Human, why did you kill my people?" Seeing that Su Chen was so young, the short zombie was a little surprised. The reason why it did not attack immediately was because it was afraid of Su Chen's strength. Previously, Su Chen had released several spells in a row, and each of them had reached level 3. Especially the power of the Thunderstorm spell, which had surpassed level 3 and was almost as powerful as a level 4 Thunderstorm spell. Facing such a level 3 psychic master who had several spells, the short zombie did not dare to act rashly. "Are you an idiot?" Su Chen scolded first, then sneered and said, "Humans and zombies are like fire and water. Do I have to ask why I came to kill you?" Hearing that, the short zombie snorted and gritted his teeth so hard that creaking sounds could be heard. However, he still held back his anger and said, "Human, I know you have some strength, but it is wishful thinking to fight against Etion City." Speaking of this, he glared at Su Chen and said sternly, "If you leave now, I can forget about the past. If you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for being rude." Su Chen looked disdainful and said sarcastically, "Although you are a zombie with intelligence in my eyes, you are no different from an ant. I can crush you to death easily. So, I advise you not to show off in front of me. You are not qualified to do so." Seeing that the short zombie was not willing to attack, Su Chen decided to provoke him. Sure enough, after being humiliated by Su Chen, the short zombie was furious. He gritted his teeth and roared, "Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish." With that, he waved his hand. "Kill him." The zombies in the city suddenly became incomparably crazy and madly rushed towards Su Chen outside the city. Su Chen was waiting for this opportunity, but in order to let the zombies rush out without any scruples, he didn't make a move, but slowly retreated. Seeing that Su Chen actually chose to escape, the short zombie's eyes revealed a ferocious color. "Do you think you can escape after angering this king?" Su Chen retreated several hundred meters before stopping. The number of zombies that rushed out had already reached 4,000 to 5,000. Su Chen felt that the number was about right, so he waved at the intelligent war chariot. The intelligent war chariot had been with Su Chen for a long time and immediately understood what Su Chen meant. It quickly rushed to the front of Su Chen, followed by the ungraded Gatling gun and the magnetic storm net at the same time. At the same time, Wu Yang and the others also rushed out of the car and fought with the zombies. Ta-ta-ta. Yeah. ZZZZ. The slaughter officially began at this moment. Under the coverage of the ungraded Gatling gun, the zombies fell in droves. The upgraded magnetic storm net was enough to kill level 3 zombies, and its powerful lethality was displayed incisively and vividly. Streaks of thick electric currents rampaged through the zombies, and wherever they passed, the zombies were directly turned into ashes. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of zombies were killed. The killing speed was so fast that even Su Chen paled in comparison. Chapter 229. The short zombie in the distance was terrified to the extreme as he witnessed his subordinates being slaughtered. He was also furious to the extreme. Damn it! How can there be such a powerful MCV? Although Wu Yang and the others were strong, they were not a threat to him. On the contrary, the intelligent combat vehicle was too lethal. It was the first time he had seen a MCV that could attack. It had completely subverted his understanding. At the same time, he clearly understood that with the help of the MCV, no matter how many zombies he had, they would be slaughtered. What a sinister human! The short zombie was furious. He had realized that Su Chen had deliberately angered him in order to let his zombie army out of the city so that they could be wiped out in one fell swoop. He could not stand by and watch his men get slaughtered one by one. If all of them were killed, he would become a commander without an army. As if he had made up his mind, the short zombie roared toward the city. "Magic Legion, Go out of the city and kill the enemy. Soon, 100 zombies came to the city gate and stood behind the short zombie, waiting for orders. The short zombie glanced at the group of zombies, then pointed at Su Chen and the others and ordered, "Kill those humans." The 100 zombies roared in unison and then slowly moved out of the city. Their footsteps were neat and orderly, just like an army that had undergone strict training. Su Chen had been paying attention to the situation at the city gate. When he saw the 100 zombies, he frowned slightly. Han Kun once said that there were a large number of mutant zombies in Etian City. It was very likely that they were the ones in front of him. Mutant zombies should be the short zombies' trump card. They had not appeared before, probably to preserve their strength. Now was the critical moment, and they had no choice but to show their strength in order to turn the tide. In the face of 100 zombies that could cast spells, Su Chen did not dare to be careless. Because if they cast spells together, the power of their spells could exceed level 4 spells. It was comparable to the Black Flame Dragon's Dragon Flame. In the face of such an attack, it was easy for him to deal with it. After all, with the ancient God-fiend body and many other means, he could completely ignore such group attacks. However, the intelligent war chariot couldn't do the same. Its current defense was only at level 3, and it couldn't withstand such concentrated fire. As for Wu Yang and the others, they were even more vulnerable in the face of a level 4 spell. It was very likely that they would be killed in a single blow. Su Chen couldn't let this happen. Purple light flashed on his feet, and he quickly activated the rapid combat boots and rushed toward the group of mutated zombies. He must kill all of them before the mutated zombies attack. The short zombies at the gate of the city saw Su Chen rushing over alone. At first, he was stunned, but then he was overjoyed. He could already tell that Su Chen was most likely a magician and an evolver. However, its strength was only at level 3. If the mutated zombies attacked at the same time, there was a high chance of killing it. He couldn't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. At the same time, he shouted, "Let's attack together and kill that human." The mutated zombies received the order and stopped in their tracks. They quickly gathered their spells. Icicles, fireballs, wind blades, thunderstorms, and other types of spells appeared one by one. When they condensed to the critical point, they all smashed towards Su Chen, who was flying over. Su Chen was still fearless in the face of 100 spells. He released his spiritual power and activated the weak golden scales on the arm. He didn't stop at all as he charged forward. Chapter 230. 100 spells rained down on Su Chen from all directions. The dazzling colors intertwined with each other as if stars were falling from the sky. The terrifying magical waves emitted from the spells were enough to send chills down one's spine even from afar. Su Chen. Tan Lin's heart sank when she saw that Su Chen was drowned by the spells. Everyone else's faces turned pale as well. Yang Qian even started to cry. So he's just a hothead. The short zombie laughed out loud. Even a level 4 evolver would have to avoid the attacks of hundreds of spells. Su Chen was only level 3, yet he chose to fight head-on. It was no different from suicide. The short zombie also thought that Su Chen was a brainless idiot. Boom! In an instant, all the spells rained down on Su Chen. Explosions were heard all around him. Gravel flew everywhere as the wind howled. Even the sky changed color. Dust rose into the air as Su Chen's figure was completely covered by the spells. This is what you get for showing off. The short zombie spat. From his point of view, Su Chen had already been blasted to smithereens. He couldn't be more dead. However, when he glanced at where Su Chen was, his eyelids twitched. How is this possible? How are you still alive? The short zombie was terrified as if he had seen a ghost. In his line of sight, a handsome figure slowly walked out from the dust. It was none other than Su Chen, whom he thought was dead for sure. He saw clearly that Su Chen was not only alive and well, but there was also no injury on his body, and there was a strange smile on the corner of his mouth. How could he be unharmed after being hit by 100 spells? How strong was his physical body and strength needed to be to achieve this? Was this young man even human? The short zombie did not dare to imagine further. Unknowingly, he felt a chill run down his spine and his whole body started to tremble. On the other hand, Tan Lin cried tears of joy when she saw that Su Chen was still alive. She hugged Yang Chen tightly. Wu Yang took a deep breath, his heart trembling. Ever since he had left the Tiannan colony, he had realized that Su Chen had been creating miracles step by step. Previously, he had single-handedly suppressed the entire Vajra city to the point where he could catch the black flame explosion dragon with his bare hands. And today, he was able to withstand 100 spells all by himself without suffering any injuries. All of this proved how powerful Su Chen was. He even believed that Su Chen was the symbol of invincibility. In this world, there was nothing that Su Chen couldn't do, and no one could hurt Su Chen. Now that I've seen your trump card, it's time to see mine. Su Chen stared at the short zombie coldly. He curled the corner of his mouth and swept out the enchanted sword in his hand. A blue torrent swept forward, and in the blink of an eye, it fell into the group of mutant zombies, wreaking havoc. Following a series of blood-curdling screams, the 100 mutant zombies were all turned into charred corpses. The short zombie was a level 3 zombie. Although he was not dead, he was severely injured. His body was covered with scars from being ravaged by lightning. It was a ghastly sight. At this moment, he was lying on the ground, panting heavily. His eyes were filled with fear as he looked at Su Chen. He had never seen such a terrifying lightning spell before. Moreover, this lightning spell seemed to have fused with the force of an evolver. The fact that two different things could be fused together so perfectly was unbelievable to him. Chapter 231. Who the hell are you? The short zombie gritted his teeth and struggled to get up from the ground. Why do you know so much when you're about to die? Su Chen sneered. Then he moved his feet and appeared in front of the short zombie in an instant. He raised his hand and punched out. Sir, avenge me. The short zombie knew that there was no chance of survival in the face of a strong person like Su Chen. He simply gave up resisting and roared at Tian City before he died. Bang! The short zombie's head was blown up by Su Chen's punch. The moment he fell, a golden light flashed on his corpse. Golden fragment. Su Chen was excited. The golden fragment was a full attribute fragment. Individually, it was the most valuable of all the fragments. Su Chen took a deep breath and grabbed the golden fragment. Picked up, level 4 full attribute, fragment *111. The fragment is full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. Su Chen did not hesitate. Immediately afterward, he felt a huge change in his body. His physical body and strength had been greatly improved. His magical power and mental strength had also soared. In addition, after being promoted to level 4, golden scales on the arm could resist level 5 attacks. And ancient god demon body could ignore any level 4 attacks. It could be said that although Su Chen had only been promoted by 1 level, his strength had increased exponentially. Now, even if he faced a level 5 evolver, he was confident enough to kill him. After picking up the golden fragment, Su Chen was about to return to kill zombies when a terrifying pressure suddenly came from Tian City. Human, how dare you act recklessly in my Tian City? I will kill you today. An angry roar came from afar and entered Su Chen's ears. Alien? Su Chen frowned. He heard clearly that this roar was not in human language. Which race is it? Su Chen muttered and turned to look in the direction of Tian City. Soon, a 3-meter-tall alien appeared in his line of sight. This alien was like a small mountain, and his speed was as fast as the wind. He had completely reached the level of a level 4 evolver. In the process of running, the ground made a thumping sound. After a few breaths, he was already more than 10 meters away. Su Chen squinted and looked at the black shadow. When he saw the appearance, his heart skipped a beat. This alien looked somewhat similar to a human. He had a human face, but he was very rough. His face was full of stubble, and his fluffy hair fell down, covering half of his face. His naked body was covered with a layer of yellow fur. His 4 limbs were thick and powerful, and his muscles seemed to contain explosive power. With a height of 3 meters, he looked like an uncivilized barbarian. "Big guy, which race do you belong to?" When the alien race came closer, Su Chen raised his voice and asked. He was using the alien's language. The strange races originally wanted to kill Su Chen right from the start, but when they heard that Su Chen could speak their language, they stopped their actions. He looked at Su Chen and asked fiercely, "Kid, how do you know our half-beast race's language?" "So you're from the half-beast race." Su Chen pondered for a moment before he chuckled. "Big guy, how did you come to our illusory continent?" "Kid, it might not be a good thing to know too much." The half-beast race's face turned cold, and then he laughed. "If you know what's good for you, answer my question quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Chapter 232. How impolite? Su Chen rubbed his nose and said calmly. The beast man was only level 4. How could he defeat him? He was also level 4 and was invincible among level 4s. Naturally, he did not take the beast man seriously. Seeing Su Chen's calm expression as if he did not take him seriously, the beast man was enraged. "Since you're so ungrateful, I'll teach you how to behave." The beastman's expression changed. He snorted and threw a punch at Su Chen. Before the punch arrived, a gust of wind blew. The power of a level 4 evolver was completely released. Su Chen was still unmoved. When the huge fist was close to him, he threw a punch as well. His fist was glowing with a bright golden light. There was a muffled bang. The two fists collided. After a short stalemate, the beastman's huge fist shattered inch by inch. In the blink of an eye, it became a bloody mess. After being heavily injured, the half-beast race member let out a blood-curdling screech as he retreated. However, before he could take a few steps, he felt that his feet were entangled by something. At the same time, an invisible force pressed down on him from all directions, causing him to be unable to breathe. The beastman's expression changed. He could not care less about the pain in his hands. He used his strength and tried to break free from the thing that was entangled around his feet. However, at this moment, something strange happened again. He felt a bone-piercing chill from his legs. It went from the bottom up and reached his waist in an instant. Under the attack of the chill, his lower body quickly lost feeling. "What the hell is this?" The half-beastman roared in shock and lowered his head to look. He saw that his feet were entangled by green vines. His legs were covered with a thick layer of ice, emitting a bone-piercing chill. Seeing this, he felt a sense of absurdity. How could a mere wood elemental binding spell and frost spell bind him to this extent? After all, he was a level 4 evolver. Furthermore, as half-beasts, their physiques were far superior to other races. They were only slightly inferior to the night demons. Then why was a weak human able to control him with a spell? Su Chen's spell was only a level 4 spell. Under normal circumstances, it should not have been able to restrain the demi-humans. But whether it was wood entanglement or frost, they contained more than just magic power. The former had fused with the serene pool divine wood, while the latter had fused with the mysterious ice of 9 serenities. With the support of the two manifestations, the power of the spell was far beyond that of a level 4 spell. It was even slightly stronger than a level 5 spell. Although the half-beastmen were stronger than the average level 4 evolver, they had no way of resisting a level 5 spell. "Now it's time to tell me where you came from, right?" Su Chen walked forward with a smile. A pitch-black saber appeared in his hand, exuding a cold, killing intent. "Ha!" The half-beastman sneered and said contemptuously, "Boy, I admit that you're very strong. But if you want to control us half-beastmen, I'm afraid that's wishful thinking." "So, you're not going to tell me?" Su Chen's eyes gradually narrowed. A mutated race suddenly appeared in Etian City. There must be some secret. It would be best if he could find out from this half-beastman. But if the other party was stubborn and did not say anything, he would kill him without mercy. At most, he would personally enter Etian City to investigate. Chapter 233. Kid, I advise you to let me go quickly. The anger of the half-beast race is not something a human like you can bear. Although he was controlled by Su Chen, the half-beast race was not afraid at all. Instead, he threatened Su Chen. He thought that with his identity as a half-beast race, a mere human would not dare to do anything to him. Not to mention the half-beast race, even if the 5 super races provoke me, I will still kill them. Who do you think you are? Su Chen sneered and swept his saber across. The half-beast race's huge head rolled onto the ground. Even though he was dead, his eyes were still wide open. His eyes were full of unwillingness and disbelief. Until his death, he still could not believe that he had died in the hands of a human. The moment the half-beast race fell, there were dense roars of zombies. Immediately afterwards, a large number of zombies rushed out of the city and charged straight at Su Chen. Good. Su Chen was not shocked but overjoyed, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He would not let go of the zombies in Etion City in the first place. Since the other party had taken the initiative to come to him, it saved him a lot of trouble. After glancing at the zombies that were charging over, Su Chen looked at the half-beast race. That was because when he killed him, he had dropped 10 fragments, one of which was green. The green fragments represented something related to cultivation techniques. Previously, there had been the Heavenly Hundredfold Strength technique and 10,000 Lights as Shadows killing technique. Although he could not exchange for them for the time being, he did not know what their specific functions were. However, the energy points required to exchange for them were extremely terrifying. They both required 10,000 energy points, just like the ancient God-Fiend body. Given that the ancient God-Fiend body was invincible among those of the same level, it could be deduced that cultivation techniques must be very impressive. Hence, he attached great importance to the green fragments. Before the zombies rushed over, Su Chen walked forward and grabbed the green fragment. Picked up Pegasus Meteor Punch, Fragment X1, 120. The fragments are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. With that, Su Chen fell into deep thought. In his previous life, he had seen a cartoon called Saint Seiya, and the main character's ultimate skill was Pegasus Meteor Punch. He couldn't help but wonder if the two were the same thing. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat, and he quickly opened the Doomsday Merchant Center to check. When he saw that the exchange points for Pegasus Meteor Fist was 2,000 points, he was a little tempted. Pegasus Meteor Fist was undoubtedly a unique fist technique. Once he exchanged for it, his strength would definitely soar. Moreover, he now had more than 2,000 energy points, so he could definitely exchange them. After a slight hesitation, he decided to exchange for it. Although he was powerful now, he mainly relied on the enchanted magic saber and other magic arts to attack. It was more or less monotonous, so he wanted to enrich his attack methods. After making up his mind, he spent 2,000 energy points to make the exchange. The moment the exchange was successful, he quickly received a reply. Pegasus Meteor Fist was indeed a secret fist technique. When used, it would allow one to continuously throw out 100 punches in a second. Moreover, each punch had the same lethality as the main body. In other words, when Su Chen used Pegasus Meteor Fist, it was equivalent to throwing out 100 punches in a row. The power would increase by 100 times. Not to mention being invincible among those of the same level, even killing enemies of a higher level would become easy. Chapter 234. Awesome! Su Chen was very excited, and his face was filled with a bright smile. He only spent 2,000 energy points to exchange for a powerful secret fist technique, which was something he didn't expect before. At this point, it also meant that he had taken another big step forward on the path of invincibility. He even thought about how powerful each punch would be if he used it together with the Heavenly Hundredfold Strength formula. TSK. Those who were 1 level higher than him were definitely no match for him. Those who were 2 levels higher than him would definitely not have an easy time even if they could resist his attacks. Later, his eyes fell on the zombies that were rushing over, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. Just in time to experiment on you guys. Then, Su Chen performed the Pegasus Meteor Fist and punched forward. In the next moment, 99 identical fists appeared around the fist. The momentum was like a rainbow, covering the sky and the sun. 100 fists gathered together like a mountain, pressing down on the zombies from the sky. There was a loud bang. The fist fell and set off a stormy wave among the zombies. 400 to 500 zombies were directly smashed into meat paste. Thousands of zombies were affected. Some were sent flying, and some had countless bones broken. Although they didn't die, they were seriously injured, lying on the ground and losing the ability to move. The terrifying lethality of the Pegasus Meteor Fist was vividly displayed at this moment. The power of one punch was so terrifying. It had become Su Chen's most powerful trump card. Wu Yang and the others in the distance saw this scene, and they were all shocked to the extreme. One punch, just one punch, killed hundreds of zombies and injured thousands of zombies. It was too terrifying and too exaggerated. Qin Ge is getting more and more powerful. Yang Hao looked at Su Chen in a daze, and his eyes were full of admiration. Su Chen was also stunned by this punch, and it took him a while to recover. After being stunned for a while, those zombies roared and rushed toward him again. Su Chen's eyes gradually narrowed, and another Pegasus Meteor Fist was thrown out. Boom! The terrifying fist aura wreaked havoc, killing hundreds of zombies once again. Originally, there were more than 3,000 zombies that rushed out, but after being hit by 2 Pegasus Meteor Punch, only a few hundred zombies were still able to move. However, they still didn't know what fear was. They still bared their teeth and charged toward Su Chen. Facing a few hundred zombies, Su Chen didn't use any killing moves. With a wave of his hand, he unleashed a barrage of spells of various elements. 1 minute later, all the zombies were dead. Even the heavily injured zombies were killed one by one. Seeing hundreds of light beams on the ground, Su Chen smiled. Then he retracted his gaze and looked behind him. Wu Yang's group and the intelligent war chariot continued to kill zombies, and it was a one-sided slaughter. It wouldn't take long for them to kill all the remaining zombies. Knowing this, Su Chen didn't want to go over and help. Instead, he started to pick up the fragments. The first thing he picked up was a red fragment. Picked up, level 2 Constitution Potion, *111. The fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Su Chen happily put the level 2 Constitution Potion into his storage bag. Yang Hao and the others had been level 1 evolvers for some time, and they had been fighting non-stop recently. Their combat experience was gradually increasing, and their foundation was very solid. It was time to level up. The level 2 Constitution Potion was just right for them to use. Chapter 235. Then, Su Chen continued to pick up the fragments. Picked up, Desert Sandfire, Fragment *1, 9, 10. Fragments are not full, cannot be used, can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. Picked up, Apple Tree Seed, Fragment *1, 1, 1. Fragments are full, can be used or exchanged for energy points. No exchange for energy points. Picked up, Magic Fusion Gem, Fragment *1, Forts 10. Fragments are not full, cannot be used, can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. After picking up the fragments, Wu Yang and the others had already killed all the remaining zombies and were digging for energy stones. Su Chen also returned to pick up the remaining fragments. An hour later, the remaining fragments were picked up and Su Chen began to count the goods. This time, a total of more than 1,000 fragments were dropped, and most of them were exchanged for energy points. The number of energy points had once again reached 1,000 points. Other than that, Desert Sandfire had also been collected and integrated into the fire element magic. At this point, there were already 4 elements that had been integrated into the concrete objects. The fire element had been integrated into Desert Sandfire. The wood element had been integrated into Serene Pool Divine Wood. The lightning element had been integrated into wild thunder. The ice element had been integrated into mysterious ice of the netherworld. The spells of these 4 elements were far more powerful than the spells of the other elements. They were even comparable to level 5 spells. If released through Enchanted Sword, the power would completely exceed level 5 and be enough to cause a fatal blow to a level 5 evolver. In addition, there were more than 20 bottles of Constitution Potion of various levels, including 2 level 3 bottles. It was just enough to help Wu Yang and Yang Lingtian advance to level 3. After counting the gains, Su Chen looked at Etion City. The appearance of the beastmen in Etion City meant that there must be a realm passage inside. Moreover, this passage was not complete and could not be entered and exited at will. Otherwise, there would be more than one beastman. Captain Wu, I'm going to enter the city to take a look. You guys be careful. Before leaving, Su Chen found Wu Yang and reminded him. Don't worry. Wu Yang smiled. Now that the zombies were all killed, there would be no more danger. In addition, there was also a mechanical soldier that was comparable to a level 4 evolver, so there would not be any danger. Su Chen nodded and flew straight towards Etion City. Etion City was desolate. There were collapsed buildings everywhere. It was as if it had become a ruin. The surroundings were silent and filled with a strange aura. Su Chen kept looking around, but didn't find a single zombie or half-beast. As for the Interrealm passage, no one knew where it was hidden. After walking around the city for a while, Su Chen didn't find any clues, so he simply released his spiritual force to explore. Soon, he sensed traces of energy fluctuations somewhere at the foot of the mountain. This should be the entrance to the domain passage. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and muttered to himself. There was also an interrealm passage in the desolate Lake Mountain Ranges mine. At that time, he was worried that he would encounter danger, so he didn't go down to investigate. Now, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. He could even kill a level 5 evolver, so he had the intention to see the interrealm passage. Arriving at the foot of the mountain, Su Chen punched a stone wall. The energy fluctuations were coming from this stone wall. Rumble. After the stone wall shattered, a dazzling white passage appeared. It was about 3 meters in diameter and shone brightly. It contained a terrifying killing intent. Sometimes it was weak, sometimes it was very violent, and very unstable. Su Chen didn't dare to get close because that killing intent made him feel a sense of fear. After staring for a while, he raised his hand and shot out a thunderball, which flew into the interrealm passage. Chapter 236. This domain passage was likely to be connected to the world of the half-beast race. Once it was completely stabilized, the half-beast race army would invade Thousand Feather Island. Without knowing the cultivation level of the strongest half-beast race expert, Su Chen did not intend to let the domain passage continue to be stabilized. There was a loud rumbling sound. After a flash of lightning in the domain passage, the terrifying killing intent completely broke out. An invisible murderous aura shot out from it, like a super strong storm, cutting everything around into pieces. Even though Su Chen was far away, he was not spared. However, he had the ancient god-demon body, and the murderous aura did not cause any substantial harm to him, but only made him a little embarrassed. The power of the domain is really strong. Su Chen murmured with lingering fear. He could imagine that if he was in the domain passage and suffered such a violent attack, even he would have suffered a lot. With the explosion of the thunderstorm technique, Su Chen found that the domain passage was more chaotic than before, and it seemed to be about to collapse. Su Chen's purpose was to destroy the domain passage, and of course, he hoped that it would be as violent as possible. Then he condensed another thunderball and was about to shoot it out. At the other end of the domain passage, a huge figure appeared, which was at least 10 meters tall. Although it was far away, Su Chen still felt a majestic and terrifying aura. Obviously, the person who came was a super expert of the half-beast race. Su Chen even thought that his cultivation level was at least above level 6, otherwise he would not have such a strong feeling. Human, How dare you destroy the domain passage of our half-beast race? Do you know that this is a capital offense? There was a violent rebuke from the other end of the domain passage. There was extreme contempt and anger in his words, as if he could crush Su Chen to death at any time. Go to hell, who do you think you are? How dare you threaten me? Su Chen snorted coldly, raised his hand and shot out a thunderball. With a roar, the entire interdomain passage began to tremble violently. The surrounding mountains were affected, and a large portion of them collapsed. Countless rocks rolled down, but before they could land on the ground, they were turned into powder by the murderous aura that shot out. Human, you deserve to die. Seeing that Su Chen had ignored his threat and even dared to continue destroying the domain passage, the half-beastman roared in anger. Are you that awesome? Why don't you come out and bite me? Su Chen provoked. Although the other party was very strong, if they could not pass through the realm passage, they could not pose any threat to him. He could tease it however he wanted, and he could release another lightning ball at any time to completely destroy the realm passage. This is infuriating. The half-beastmen couldn't do anything to Su Chen and flew into a rage. Human, if you stop destroying, I can give you some benefits. After taking a deep breath, as if he had figured something out, the half-beast man suppressed his anger and said in a low voice. They had spent a lot of materials to build the realm passage here, and after decades of stabilization, it was about to take shape, but Su Chen had destroyed it. Even so, he did not want the realm passage to be completely destroyed. Since he could not do anything to Su Chen, he had the idea of negotiating. Even if he had to pay some price, he wanted Su Chen to stop. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up and his thoughts slowly turned. Destroying this realm passage was just a casual matter, but before that, wouldn't it be more satisfying if he could cheat the other party? Chapter 237. What can you give me? If I'm satisfied, I can consider it, Su Chen asked calmly. The half-beast race member was overjoyed. He was most afraid that Su Chen would do something stupid and not mention any conditions. He was determined to destroy the domain passage. Since there was room for discussion, everything could be discussed. What do you want? The half-beast asked. Seeing that you're quite sincere, I won't ask for much. 10,000 level 4 and above energy stones will do, Su Chen said naturally. Considering that the next upgrade of the mechanical soldiers and intelligent war chariots required level 4 energy stones, and he only had one, he might as well take the opportunity to extort some. Of course, he also knew that 10,000 level 4 energy stones was an astronomical figure. The other party would definitely not be able to take out so many. The reason why he asked for such an exorbitant price was to wait for the other party to bargain. What? Are you so poor that you've gone crazy? As expected, the half-beast was enraged when he heard this number. 10,000 level 4 energy stones required the killing of 10,000 level 4 zombies or level 4 mutated beasts. Putting aside the fact that there were not that many high-level zombies, even if there were, how long would it take? How many experts would it take to kill all of them? So there's no room for discussion? Su Chen rubbed his nose, and his voice became cold. The half-beast suppressed his anger. I can give you 100 level 4 energy stones at most. Nothing more. Energy stones and energy stones were used for the same purpose. If he only gave him 100, he could still afford it. Hearing that it was only 100, Su Chen was unhappy. Damn it, there's no such harsh bargaining. Isn't it supposed to be 50%? If you cut off 99% of it, what else can I do? Do you think I'm a beggar? You want to get rid of me with just 100 energy stones? Su Chen snorted coldly. Lightning flashed between his fingers. This was a sign that he was about to cast the explosive thunder spell. Wait a minute. Seeing that Su Chen was about to make a fool of himself again, the half-beast was angry and anxious. He quickly said, I can add another 50 stones. 5,000. This is my minimum requirement, Su Chen said calmly. The beastmen clenched their teeth, wishing they could tear Su Chen into pieces. However, in order to calm Su Chen down, he said patiently, level 4 energy stones are not as common as cabbages. Even if we were to add up all the energy stones in the Orc continent, we might not even have 5,000 of them. Su Chen scoffed. How could an entire continent not have 5,000 grade 4 energy stones? Who are you trying to fool? However, he could also imagine that the possibility of the other party taking out 5,000 stones was very slim. Following the principle of cheating as much as he could, he said, 1,000 level 4 energy stones. This is my bottom line. 1,000? The corner of the beastman's mouth twitched. After thinking for a long time, he finally said, okay, but I need time to prepare. How long? Su Chen asked. About an hour. Su Chen nodded. Then I'll wait for you for an hour. The orc didn't say anything else and turned around to leave. Su Chen stood where he was and waited quietly. An hour later, the beastman appeared on the other side of the interworld passage again. Human, this is for you. But remember to keep your promise. The beastman was very straightforward. He carried a cloth bag and threw it directly into the interworld passage. Just as the cloth bag was about to fly out of the interworld passage, it suddenly exploded. Hundreds of white crystal threads shot out from it and instantly merged into the passage. There was a brief moment of stability in the turbulent passageway, and then 4 figures rushed out of the passageway. Seeing this, Su Chen narrowed his eyes and laughed disdainfully. Just a few level 4 evolvers and you dare to play dirty with me? Chapter 238. Su Chen could clearly see that the 4 half-beastmen who came out of the interworld passage were all level 4 evolvers. Moreover, he also understood that the half-beastmen did not spend an hour to collect energy stones. He was looking for something to stabilize the interworld passage so that the 4 of them could pass through and kill Lu Sheng. If it were anyone else, they would definitely not be able to survive facing 4 evolvers of the same level. However, Su Chen was different. He was invincible among those of the same level. Not to mention 4 evolvers of the same level, even if there were 10 times more of them, he would still be able to kill them easily. Arrogant human brat, die. The 4 half-beastmen rushed out and attacked Su Chen at the same time. When the 4 of them joined forces, their aura was quite terrifying. You overestimate yourselves. Su Chen snorted disdainfully. When the 4 of them got close, he punched out. Whoosh, whoosh. A whistling sound was heard. 100 fist shadows appeared in the air, each of them emitting a faint golden light. This punch perfectly combined the Pegasus Meteor Fist and Golden Scale Arm. What kind of fist technique is this? Why is it so terrifying? The half-beastmen on the other side of the interworld passage opened their eyes wide in shock. The 4 half-beastmen who rushed towards Su Chen were even more shocked. Facing the sky full of fist shadows, their breathing almost stopped. In the next moment, there was the sound of flesh being punched. The 4 half-beastmen each suffered more than 20 heavy punches. Their skin and flesh were lacerated, and their bones were broken inch by inch. They turned into 4 meat paste and collapsed on the ground. Moreover, each of the corpses dropped a fragment, and one of them was purple gold. The purple gold fragment represented energy points, and its value was self-evident. Su Chen was extremely excited. He quickly walked forward and grabbed the purple gold fragment. Picked up 2,000 energy point fragment *111. The fragment is full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Su Chen did not hesitate at all. After picking up this fragment, he continued to pick up the other 3 fragments. Just as Su Chen was busy picking up the fragments, the half-beast on the other side of the domain passage looked somewhat dazed. Su Chen's powerful punch had easily killed 4 powerhouses of the same level, which had deeply shocked him. With his strength as a level 6 evolutionary, killing 4 level 4 evolutionaries was not difficult, but it was impossible for him to do it as easily as Su Chen. To think that there is such a monstrous existence among the human race. The half-beast race member muttered in disbelief. As far as he knew, the human race was the weakest race among the 10,000 races. They had always been bullied by the 10,000 races. Not to mention geniuses or monsters, It was already very difficult to find an expert who was on the same level. However, Su Chen's appearance completely overturned his understanding. Su Chen was so strong that even the geniuses of the 5 superclans were no match for him. Moreover, Su Chen looked very young. He might not even be 20 years old. A 20-year-old level 4 evolutionary was already shocking, and it was even more frightening that he had the strength to crush those of the same level. The half-beast race even thought that once Su Chen grew up, he would definitely become a super expert. He might even lead the human race to fight against the 5 superclans. Damn it! We can't let this human grow. The half-beast race member muttered fiercely. However, no matter how much he wanted to kill Su Chen, there was nothing he could do with the domain passage between them. Su Chen picked up the remaining 3 fragments and looked at the half-beast clan member. He said sarcastically, "You want to kill me with just you alone? Why don't you take a look at yourself? Do you have the ability to do so? Trush." Chapter 239. Being mocked by Su Chen to his face, the orc's face turned pale. Surprisingly, he did not fly into a rage. Instead, he said patiently, "Human, you're very powerful. You've already gained my approval. We can continue our deal." Since he could not do anything to Su Chen, he wanted to continue negotiating with Su Chen to protect the inter-realm passage. "You have level 4 energy stones on you, right?" Su Chen did not continue to provoke him. Although it was satisfying to scold him, there were no substantial benefits. He might as well take the opportunity to get some energy stones. "I don't have 1,000 level 4 energy stones on me, but I can prepare them quickly." "I won't lie to you this time," the orc said honestly. Previously, he thought that sending 4 subordinates would be enough to kill Su Chen, so he did not prepare any energy stones. "How many level 4 energy stones do you have now?" "Give them to me first," Su Chen said loudly. The orc opposite him was much more cunning than he thought. He would not believe him. "I only have 100 on me." "I'll give them to you now," the orc replied and threw out a cloth bag. In order to appease Su Chen, he did not cheat. There were indeed 100 level 4 energy stones in the cloth bag. The cloth bag flew out of the interrealm passage and landed in Su Chen's hands. Su Chen released his spiritual power to check it. After confirming that there were no mistakes, he put it away in his storage bag. Then he smirked. Lightning flashed in his hand, and a ball of lightning slowly formed. "Brat, you didn't keep your word," the orc roared angrily. Seeing that Su Chen had accepted the energy stones and was about to continue forming the explosive thunder spell, the orc was shocked. He knew that he might have been tricked by Su Chen. "Haha, I didn't keep my word?" Su Chen sneered, then said sarcastically, "You said that you were going to prepare the energy stones, but you sent your subordinates to kill me. Now you're saying that I didn't keep my word. You half-beasts are really shameless." The half-beast tribesman gritted his teeth and said humbly, "I was wrong in the past, but this time, I promised to prepare the energy stones for you." They had spent a lot of effort and a lot of materials on the interdomain passage, so they had to protect it no matter what. At the same time, he was filled with regret. If he had known that Su Chen was so powerful, he would not have arranged for people to kill Su Chen. Now, not only did he lose everything, but he was also led by Su Chen by the nose. He really felt like he had shot himself in the foot. In fact, he did not know that even if he handed over the energy stones, Su Chen would still destroy the realm passage. In Su Chen's heart, cooperating with the strange races was like asking a tiger for its skin. Of course, he wouldn't do such a thing. From the beginning to the end, he had only wanted to swindle the energy stones. Su Chen rubbed his nose and teased, "Kneel down and call me grandpa, and I might consider it." He could sense that the beastmen seemed to be very afraid of the domain passage being destroyed. Since he had grasped her weakness, he naturally had to take advantage of the opportunity to pinch her. "What?" The half-beast tribesman almost fainted from anger. He was a dignified level 6 evolver and could be called an overlord on the half-beast continent. It had always been others who knelt to him. When had he ever knelt to others? Moreover, the person he was kneeling to was a lowly human, so he was even more unwilling. "Human, don't push your luck. The half-beast tribesman felt greatly humiliated, but he forced himself not to fly into a rage. Looks like you're not going to give me face? Su Chen pursed his lips and directly condensed a thunderball and looked like he was going to throw it out. Chapter 240. Stop it! The orc was panicking. The interrealm passageway had been hit by 2 violent thunder skills. It was already on the verge of collapsing. If it was hit by another one, it would definitely collapse. What? Have you made up your mind? Su Chen asked calmly. All right, I agree. In order to protect the interrealm passageway, the orc was ready to go all out. He fell to his knees with a thud. His body was close to 10 meters tall. When he fell to his knees, it was as if a small mountain had fallen to the ground. Su Chen nodded his head slightly and said, "Call me Grandpa now. Otherwise, I'm going to attack you." Upon hearing this, the orc's huge body trembled violently. Call him Grandpa? Was it not enough for an overlord to kneel? And he had to call a weak human Grandpa? This was worse than killing him. Human, don't push your luck. The orc gritted his teeth. A towering rage surged in his heart. At this moment, he swore to himself that as long as he entered the mysterious heavenly mainland, he would capture this despicable human at all costs. He would let him taste all the pain and regret that he was born in this world. I'm pushing my luck. What are you going to do about it? Su Chen scolded and threatened again. I'll give you 3 breaths of time. If you don't call me Grandpa, I won't hold back anymore. Su Chen had grasped the orc's weakness and had him under control. No matter how powerful he was, he would still be toyed with in the palm of his hand. Seeing that the orc did not respond, Su Chen began to count down. 3, 2, stop, I'll call you. The orc bit his lips until they bled. It was as if he had gone through an intense struggle. In the end, he bowed his head and called out softly, Grandpa. Are you a mosquito? Who are you calling for? Louder. Su Chen scolded. The orc was stunned. What the F***CK? I've already knelt to you. I've already called you Grandpa and you're still not satisfied? Are you still a human? Why are you even more tyrannical than us half-beasts? Louder, shout from the bottom of your heart. Don't make me wait too long, Su Chen urged with a threatening tone. Gulp. The orc swallowed his saliva and clenched his fists so tightly that his nails dug into his flesh. Hurry up, my patience is limited. Su Chen scolded again. Grandfather. The beastman finally compromised and shouted loudly. The voice was very loud and clear, and seemed to be filled with indignation and anger. Even though they were separated by the domain passage, Su Chen felt his ears buzzing. Rubbing his ears, Su Chen's face darkened as he snorted. Trash like you wants to be my grandson? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror? Are you worthy? Hearing this, the beastmen were petrified on the spot. He was devastated and furious. You can't bully people like this. You're the one who asked me to call you Grandpa, and you're the one who said that I'm unworthy. F***CK, are you still human? Is this how you play? Do you really think us half-beasts are idiots? Kid, I've already compromised. I hope you don't dig your own grave. After a long time, the orc raised his head. His eyes were cold and his voice was as cold as a glacier. Su Chen felt that it was about time. He still had many things to ask, so he stopped teasing him. He coughed lightly and said, What's the cultivation of the strongest person in your half-beasts? He had already shed all pretense of cordiality with the orc race. There would be a battle in the future. Before that, he had to figure out the strength of the other party and prepare in advance. More than 10 levels, the orc said arrogantly without hesitation. The reason why he told the truth was to intimidate Su Chen. Chapter 241. The orc tribe is very powerful. Su Chen muttered to himself. Not every race had an existence that surpassed level 10. Take the green tortoise tribe as an example, their strongest member was only level 4. Based on this, it could be seen that even if the orc tribe was not as powerful as the 5 great tribes, they could still be considered as a second-tier tribe. Human, the orc tribe is very powerful. If you submit to us, you will have made a great contribution when we conquer the mysterious heavenly mainland. The orc tribe member tried to convince Su Qin. However, before he could say anything, he was interrupted by Su Qin. Shut up. Who do you think you are? Even if the 5 major races are like ants in my eyes, you still want me to get lost? That's just wishful thinking, Su Qin said with a look of disdain. He wasn't boasting about anything. He relied on picking up fragments to increase his strength. As his strength continued to increase, the number of zombies he killed would only increase. It would not take long for him to reach level 10. In addition to the many skills he had, the 5 great tribes would not be a threat to him. Shameless. The orc tribe member snorted at Su Qin's words. The 5 great races were the most powerful races among the thousands of races. Su Qin was just a weak human with a cultivation level of level 4. How dare he look down on the 5 great tribes? Was he not afraid of biting his tongue? Su Qin did not argue with the orc tribe member. Instead, he asked, "The orc tribe is not the same as the zombies. How do you control the zombies?" When he was at the mine in the Huangzi Mountains, the Green Tortoise tribe members could also control the zombies. This caught his attention. "This is a secret of our tribe. Do you think I will tell you?" The orc tribe member snorted. In fact, the orc tribe was not the only tribe that could control the zombies. The reason why they did not tell him was because they felt embarrassed. This was because the method of controlling the zombies was taught by the undead tribe. If one wanted to learn this method, they would have to submit to the undead tribe. In other words, the half-beast race was just a subsidiary force of the undead race. In any case, the half-beast race was a first-rate race among the 10,000 races. Yet, they had pledged allegiance to another race. If this news were to spread, wouldn't they be ridiculed by the other races? "If you don't tell me, I'll blow up the realm passage." Su Qin did not care whether the other party was telling the truth or not. He continued to manipulate him. "Brat, don't go too far." The orc clenched his teeth and roared. He had been led by the nose by Su Qin until now. He had knelt down and called him grandpa, but Su Qin was still unforgiving. He had given an inch and wanted a mile. He was about to lose his patience. F***ck your grandmother. So what if I bully you? Su coldly snorted and continued, "I'll still give you 3 breaths of time." As soon as he finished speaking, he did not give the orc a chance to reply and began the countdown. 3, 2, it's the undead race. Our 2 races are in a cooperative relationship. It was them who gave us the method. The half-beast race couldn't withstand the pressure and said dejectedly, "The undead race." Su Qin muttered. At that time, he learned from the Night Devil race that the undead race claimed to be immortal and indestructible. However, they actually turned into zombies after death. Of course, since they were one of the 5 super races, they could not be compared to ordinary zombies. They could be considered the ancestors of zombies. It was reasonable for them to have the method to control zombies. Chapter 242. Grandson, we'll meet again if fate allows. After figuring out what was going on, Su Qin did not want to be long-winded. He swung his hand and threw the thunderball into the boundary passage. Then, he activated the rapid boots and turned to fly out of Tian City. The boundary passage was already very unstable. If it was hit by another thunderstorm skill, it might be completely destroyed. At that time, the damage caused would be unimaginable. He had to leave as soon as possible. Seeing that Su Qin did not keep his promise, the half-beast tribesman was so angry that the corners of his mouth trembled. However, before he could curse, he saw the entire boundary passage begin to collapse. The energy fluctuations produced were unusually violent, giving people a feeling that it could tear everything in the vicinity apart. Seeing this, the half-beast tribesman's face changed drastically. Like Su Qin, he turned and fled. On the other side, Su Qin had just rushed out of Tian City when an earth-shattering sound came from behind him. Then, the ground under his feet shook violently. Su Qin did not stop and continued to fly forward. He ran for 2 miles in one breath before he stopped and looked back. He saw that Etion City and the towering mountain had turned into ruins. Choking smoke and dust curled up, covering the sky and the sun. The power of the boundary passage is indeed awesome. Su Chen sighed and sighed. Wu Yang and the others were also shocked by the shocking changes in Etion City. Will Su Chen be okay? Tan Lin's heart was in a mess. The others were also worried as they looked in the direction of Etion City. Gradually, a tall figure appeared in their line of sight, and it was dashing towards them. Ichingu, he's back. Yang Hao shouted excitedly. Seeing that the person who came was really Su Chen, everyone was relieved. Soon, Su Chen ran to them. Su Chen, are you okay? Tan Lin and Yang Qian greeted him and looked at Su Chen in a daze. Don't worry. Su Chen smiled. Su Chen, did you destroy Etion City? Wu Yang walked forward and probed. It was destroyed by the power of the realm. Su Chen turned to look at Wu Yang and explained, there was a realm passage inside that was connected to the Beastman's continent. I destroyed it with my thunderstorm technique. Oh. Wu Yang nodded, secretly surprised. He had never thought that there would be a hidden realm passage in Etion City. Fortunately, Su Chen had discovered and destroyed it in time. Otherwise, the alien race would have entered through the domain passageway and brought about another calamity to the humans here. When Su Chen saw that all the energy stones had been dug out, he called for everyone to get into the car. Then he took out the Constitution Potion and distributed it. Wu Yang and Yang Lingtian each took a bottle of Level 3 Constitution Potion, while the others, including the 3 mutated wolves, took Level 2 Constitution Potion. Su Chen, can this potion help me advance to a Level 3 Evolver? Wu Yang trembled as he spoke. Although Su Chen did not explain, he could vaguely guess. Last time, Su Chen had given him a bottle of potion, which made him a Level 2 Evolver in one fell swoop. This time, wouldn't he become a Level 3 Evolver? Thinking of this, his breathing became heavy. Originally, he was already satisfied with becoming a Level 2 Evolver. He never thought that he would have the chance to become a Level 3 Evolver. This was something he did not even dare to dream of. One must know that a Level 3 Evolver could be considered a top expert. Huang Can of King Kong City was able to rule a large gathering place because he relied on the strength of a Level 3 Evolver. Yang Lingtian on the side was also very excited. He quietly stared at Su Chen, waiting for his reply. Under everyone's gaze, Su Chen smiled slightly and said with certainty, after taking the Level 3 Constitution Potion, you will quickly become a Level 3 Evolver. There is no doubt about this. Chapter 243. Hearing this, Wu Yang and Yang Lingtian looked at each other. Then, without any hesitation, they raised their heads and drank the Level 3 Constitution Potion in their hands. Chingu, what about the potions in our hands? Yang Hao looked at Su Chen, his eyes full of hope. You guys have the Level 2 Constitution Potion. After drinking it, you will naturally become a Level 2 evolved person, Su Chen explained. Thank you, Chingu. Yang Hao was ecstatic. He picked up the Constitution Potion and poured it into his mouth. Chao Ran and Sherdaniu also fought to be the first to drink it, as if they were afraid that others would snatch it from them. Tan Lin and the other two would not miss the opportunity to increase their strength. They drank the Constitution Potion, one after another. As for the 3 mutated wolves, Su Chen fed them the Constitution Potion first. Then he exchanged 3 bottles of Level 2 Magic Potion from the Doomsday Mall. They were ice, fire, and wood. Then he fed them again. At this point, not only did the 3 mutated wolves become Level 2 evolved person, but the spellcaster also reached Level 2. However, compared to Su Chen, who was an all-elemental spellcaster, they were all single-elemental spellcasters. After everyone had successfully leveled up, Su Chen took out another upgrade gem and leveled up the mechanical soldier to Level 4. He also installed 20 Level 4 energy stones on it. The remaining Level 4 energy stones were all used on the intelligent chariot. This time, Su Chen did not choose to upgrade the intelligent chariot's defense and attack power. Instead, he mainly upgraded its detection range. If he wanted to hunt more zombies, he would have to constantly search for the whereabouts of zombies. The original detection range of 100 kilometers was too limited. After the upgrade, the detection range soared to 200 kilometers. This way, he would be able to discover more zombies. After a simple meal, the intelligent chariot was activated and began to search for zombies. Su Chen focused his gaze on the central control screen. As the detection range expanded, traces of zombies quickly appeared on the central control screen. However, there were too few of them. At most, there were only a few hundred zombies. Su Chen was not interested in them at all. After aimlessly driving for half a day, the intelligent chariot still did not find a large number of zombies. Su Chen was a little anxious. He did not want to keep wasting time. He even thought he might as well go back. At the very least, there were large numbers of zombies in Tianan Colony and Flying Bird Colony. After killing the zombies in those two places, if he could not find a large number of zombies, he would go to Yulin. Yulin District is the largest district in Thousand Feather Island, and there are many different forces there. Maybe there will be a medium-sized zombie tide. Then wouldn't it be more fun? More pieces. With this thought in mind, when he was about to order the intelligent war chariot to return, he suddenly noticed a large number of red and blue dots appearing on the central control screen. Among them, the number of red dots was at least 10,000, while the number of blue dots was at least several thousand. Seeing this, Su Chen moved. The red dots represented zombies and mutant beasts, the black dots represented aliens, and the blue dots represented humans. They were mixed together. This meant that there were aliens leading a zombie army to besiege the human colony. He certainly would not miss the opportunity to hunt zombies. He fixed his eyes on the central control screen. Soon, he found that the zombies and humans had gathered in a small colony called Temple of Heaven City. It was close to 200 kilometers away from here. Satoshi, go to Temple of Heaven City at full speed. Su Chen ordered. Chapter 244. Roger that. The intelligent war chariot sped up and headed toward the Temple of Heaven City. Qingge, did you find the zombies? Yang Hao and the other two came to Su Chen's side. After evolving to level 2, the three of them were eager to fight the zombies as soon as possible to prove their strength. We found a small group of zombies. It will take more than an hour for them to arrive. You should rest first, Su Chen replied. Got it, Qingge. The three of them retreated to the side and started to discuss something. Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and closed his eyes to rest. After about 2 hours, the intelligent war chariot stopped a few hundred meters away from the Temple of Heaven City. Su Chen squinted and looked at the Temple of Heaven City. The gate of the Temple of Heaven City was open, and a large number of people were gathered at the gate. Outside the city, there was an army of zombies. There were at least 10,000 of them. Su Chen felt that the scene was very strange. Normally, the weaker side would use the advantage of the city to defend themselves. Why would they rush out to fight the zombies? Wasn't it like throwing an egg against a rock? Wasn't it suicidal? Su Chen looked at the scene for a while and found something interesting. Although the humans and the zombies were at loggerheads, they were in a stalemate. Both sides seemed to be restraining themselves. Are they negotiating? Su Chen murmured. It was very unreasonable for both sides to not attack. That was why he had this idea. They're about to make a move, Wu Yang suddenly reminded. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat, and he looked forward. A zombie with skin as black as ink walked out of the group of zombies, looking like a piece of charcoal. A woman in black walked out from the group of humans, followed by a male zombie. Seeing that, Su Chen was a little confused. Humans and zombies working together to fight against zombies? It was unbelievable. Since when were humans and zombies so close? The others also noticed this and started to discuss it. Su Chen, there are many zombies among the humans, but their relationship seems to be very good. Wu Yang pointed at a certain spot on the human side and reminded, Oh, Su Chen raised his eyebrows and looked in the direction Wu Yang was pointing. Sure enough, he saw a dozen zombies mixed in the crowd. Moreover, not only were there no gaps between them, they were even talking about something. Their relationship seemed to be quite good. Could it be that they are all intelligent zombies? A dozen of them appeared all of a sudden? Su Chen's jaw dropped slightly. Ordinary zombies couldn't talk, and only intelligent zombies could. However, a dozen of them appearing at once was a little too exaggerated. Moreover, even if they were intelligent zombies, they shouldn't be able to get along so well with humans, right? Su Chen was getting more and more puzzled. Just as he was about to go over and take a look, he suddenly heard something. The other side had already made their move. The woman in black and the male zombie joined forces to deal with the charred zombie. Judging from the extent of their attacks, they both had the strength of level 3 evolvers. However, although they were at the same level, the charred zombie's strength was obviously stronger. His hands were as hard as iron, and there was a layer of black gas wrapped around them. Not only could it easily block weapons, but the black gas seemed to be a very fierce poisonous gas. The woman in black and the male zombie were very afraid. Chapter 245. Under such suppression, the woman in black and the male zombie were forced to retreat. It wouldn't be long before they were defeated. This charred black zombie is interesting. Su Chen muttered and glanced at the control screen. Soon, he noticed that there was a black, a blue, and a red dot entangled with each other on the control screen. He immediately understood that the black dot was the charred black zombie. He was also from another race. As for which race he was from, he didn't know. Satoshi, go take a look. Su Chen ordered. He came here to kill zombies. It would be a waste of time to continue watching. It was meaningless. Yes. The intelligent chariot started moving and charged forward without hesitation. 10 seconds later, it rushed to the front of the zombies and humans. The appearance of the intelligent chariot immediately attracted the attention of both sides. It had to be said that the entrance of the intelligent chariot was domineering. It completely ignored the zombie army and humans. Seeing this, the charred black zombie and the other two people stopped fighting and looked at the intelligent chariot. Screech! With a sudden breaking sound, the intelligent chariot rushed to the middle of the humans and zombies. The moment the door opened, Su Chen walked out slowly. Suddenly, all eyes were on Su Chen. Who is he? How dare he come here? He's so young and handsome. What's the use of being handsome? We'll teach him a lesson later. When the humans saw a young and handsome man coming out of the car, they started whispering to each other. Human, what's your purpose here? The charred black zombie looked at Su Chen and snorted. In his eyes, Su Chen was very young and didn't look like a powerful person. However, he dared to come in the face of tens of thousands of zombies with a calm expression. He couldn't figure it out. There's only one purpose. Su Chen stared at the charred black zombie, curled his lips and chuckled. Then I'm here to kill all of you. As soon as he said that, the crowd was in an uproar. Damn, where did this lunatic come from? Isn't he too good at acting cool? He's so handsome, but he's a fool. What a pity. Young people don't know the immensity of heaven and earth if they don't suffer some hardships. How can he boast to such an extent? Almost all of the humans were staring at Su Chen as if they were looking at an idiot. They all agreed that even if Su Chen was just acting tough, he would definitely die this time. Little brother, you'd better leave quickly. This is not a place where you can participate. The black-clothed woman didn't know why Su Chen was so arrogant, but since they were all humans, she still reminded him. You want to leave? Did this king agree? The scorched black zombie's eyes were cold as he sneered. Su Chen had declared that he would kill them. This was a very impressive act. However, he wanted to leave after acting tough. What did she take him for? At this moment, he'd already decided that no matter what Su Chen's background was, he would kill Su Chen on the spot. Did I say that I'm leaving? Su Chen rubbed his nose and said lightly, It seems that you want to fight with me. Are you in such a hurry to die? As soon as he said that, the humans couldn't stay calm anymore. Damn, isn't this guy too pretentious? Acting tough is also a skill, but you have to be alive to act tough. Chapter 246. How dare a mere human be so arrogant? You must be tired of living. Another charcoal-like zombie walked out of the group of zombies, but it was taller and bigger, and it didn't speak human language. You think you can do that? I can kill you with one hand. Su Chen spoke in the zombie's language with a look of contempt. How do you know the language of the undead? The tall zombie was stunned for a moment before he threatened, "Tell me the truth, or I'll make you beg for death." Su Chen pursed his lips and said mockingly, "Because I'm your ancestor. Of course I'll tell you." You must be tired of living. The tall zombie was enraged. He grabbed his mace and rushed toward Su Chen. We don't know who will die yet. Su Chen sneered and shot out an icicle. Psychic. As soon as the tall zombie saw Su Chen release a spell, it immediately became a little disdainful and smashed out with its mace. The strength of a psychic was that they could attack from a distance. The tall zombie was only a few meters away from Su Chen. At this distance, as long as he could block Su Chen's first wave of spells, he would be able to close in and kill Su Chen. However, the idea was beautiful, but the reality was cruel. Su Chen's icicle was a level 4 spell. Furthermore, it was combined with the mysterious ice of the netherworld. It was even stronger than a level 5 spell. The tall zombie was only a level 3 evolver. There was no way he could block the icicle. In the next moment, the tall zombie's mace hit the icicles that were flying towards him. However, the expected scene of the icicles shattering did not appear. On the contrary, the tall zombie's mace was broken by the icicle. Oh no! Seeing his weapon break, the tall zombie immediately realized that Su Chen's spell was definitely not a level 3 spell. Even a level 4 spell would not be able to break his weapon so easily. Could it be a level 5 spell? He was a level 5 mage? With this thought in mind, the tall zombie's expression changed drastically. He grabbed half of the mace and quickly retreated. However, before he could retreat a few steps, he was caught up by the icicle. Afterwards, he felt a bone-piercing coldness assault him. He was unable to move at all, and his consciousness gradually became muddy. Seeing this scene, the human side was in an uproar. *CK. Why is his icicle technique so powerful? Even a level 3 evolver was frozen into a popsicle. Could it be a level 4 spell? Even a level 4 spell wouldn't be this powerful. Oh my god, we were just mocking him for being pretentious. It turns out that he really has the ability to be pretentious. This guy is too handsome. If I were 10 years younger, I would definitely marry him. Bah, just based on an old onion like you, do you think she would take a liking to you? Charred Zombie and the other two were all shocked at this moment. Su Chen's strength had completely exceeded their expectations. Who would have thought that a young man who was not even 20 years old would have the ability to casually kill a level 3 evolver? It could be said that none of them were a match for Su Chen with his icicle technique. The scorched black zombie was even more worried. Su Chen had said that he would kill them all, and he had already proven that he had the ability to do so. What should he do then? Should he just sit there and wait for his death? Or should he put up a desperate struggle? Su Chen glanced around, and his eyes finally fell on the charred zombie. He could already tell that charred zombie was the leader of this zombie army. To catch bandits, one had to catch the leader first. To kill a zombie, one had to kill the strongest one first. Therefore, no matter what, charred zombie was his first target. Chapter 247. Being swept by Su Chen's gaze, the charred black zombie felt a chill run down his spine. As if sensing danger, he turned and ran towards the zombie horde. In his mind, as long as he escaped into the zombie horde, there would be many zombies to protect him. No matter how strong Su Chen was, he wouldn't be able to do anything to him. Do you think you can escape? Su Chen sneered disdainfully. Immediately, he released his spiritual power. On the other side, the charred black zombie had already stepped into the zombie horde with one foot. He originally thought that he was going to be safe. But in the next moment, he was shocked to find that his whole body was bound by a powerful invisible force. No matter how he struggled, he couldn't move at all. Moreover, under the guidance of this invisible force, he was flying uncontrollably towards Su Qin. In the face of this strange scene, everyone was stunned. In an instant, discussions broke out everywhere. What's going on? Why is the zombie leader flying over by himself? I know, he must be controlled by spiritual power. What? Spiritual power? Could it be that the young powerhouse is also a spiritual reader? He must be a spiritual reader, and a spiritual reader above level 4. Otherwise, how could he control a level 3 evolver? Oh my god! Isn't he a level 4 spiritual reader? How could he be a level 4 spiritual reader? This world is too crazy. After the woman in black and the male zombie looked at each other, they swallowed their saliva at the same time. Su Qin was a level 4 spiritual reader, there was no doubt about this. Then they thought of Su Qin's identity as a level 4 spiritual reader. They only felt a buzzing sound in their heads, as if they couldn't accept the reality in front of them. They knew better than anyone how difficult the path of cultivation was. Originally, they thought that with their status as level 3 evolvers, they were enough to be proud and worthy of being called geniuses. But the appearance of Su Qin was a huge blow to them. At the same time, they also knew what it meant to say that there was always someone better than you. Su Qin was not even 20 years old, but he was both a spellcaster and a telekinesis master, both of which had reached level 4. Just this point alone was enough to make people look up to him for a lifetime. When did such a monstrous figure appear in our human race? The black-clothed woman looked at Su Qin from afar and sighed deeply. Don't kill me. I'm from the undead race. If you kill me, you won't have a good ending. Seeing that Su Qin was about to bring him in front of him, the charred black zombie was scared out of his wits. He screamed loudly. As one of the 5 super races, the undead race was indeed worthy of Su Qin's attention. However, the charred black zombie was only a level 3 evolver. He was just a small fry in the undead clan. This kind of trash actually dared to speak such arrogant words and threaten him? You think too highly of yourself. Su Qin's face was full of disdain as he mocked, not to mention a piece of trash like you, even if you were a powerhouse from the undead clan, I would still kill you if I wanted to. Friend, let's talk nicely. It might be a misunderstanding between us. The corner of the scorched black zombie's mouth trembled. At this moment, he clearly felt the murderous intent in Su Qin's eyes. Even if he was from the undead race, he didn't dare to use this to threaten Su Qin. He was afraid that if he said something wrong, he would anger Su Qin and bring about a fatal disaster. Those who aren't of my race are bound to have different intentions. We're not friends. Su Qin curled his lips, stared at the eyes of the charred black zombie, and said in a deep voice, "How did you get in here? Don't hide anything, or I'll make you beg for death." Chapter 248. I'll tell you everything. Don't kill me. The charred zombie's face turned green as he begged for mercy. He did not care about Su Qin's words at all. A person who could easily kill a level 3 evolver could kill him with a flick of his finger. At least you know what's good for you. Su Qin snorted and said lightly, "Tell me, where is the boundary passage that connects here?" The only way to get from the undead continent to the mysterious heavenly continent was through the boundary passage. His goal was to find this realm passage and destroy it. The boundary passage is, as the charred zombie said this, a vicious look flashed across his eyes. When Su Qin was not paying attention, he opened his mouth and spat out a black mist. Soon he rushed in front of Su Qin. Without knowing what it was, Su Qin waved his hand and dispersed it. But at this moment, the charred zombie suddenly laughed wildly. You've been poisoned by the undead clan's natal corpse poison. No matter how powerful you are, you'll become a zombie and become a dog under my feet. Let me go now. The undead clan's natal corpse poison was hundreds and thousands of times more powerful than the zombie's corpse poison. Even the slightest bit of it would quickly turn one into a zombie. This was also the biggest reason why the undead clan could always be at the top of the myriad clans. Hearing this, the black-clothed woman and the male zombies' expressions changed. Although they were not familiar with Suchen, they knew that Suchen was here to kill the zombies, which was equivalent to helping them in disguise. Now that he had been poisoned by the undead clan's natal corpse poison, he would soon turn into a zombie. Without the help of a powerhouse like Suchen, their situation could be imagined. Wu Yang and the others on the intelligent war chariot were also a little worried. If it was a head-on confrontation, Suchen was an invincible existence. No one would be his opponent. But if it was poison, it was hard to say. After all, the corpse poison was too vicious. In their knowledge, anyone who was poisoned would turn into a zombie. Yang Lingtian knew that Suchen had the antidote. When he was bitten by a level 2 zombie, he relied on Suchen's medicine to neutralize the poison. However, could the undead's corpse poison be the same as the zombie's corpse poison? Would Suchen's potion still work? He wasn't sure about this, so he was quite worried. A mere corpse poison wants to deal with me? Suchen sneered. With the ancient god-fiend body, not only was he invincible among his peers, he was also immune to all poisons and evil. No matter how powerful the undead race's corpse poison was, it could not cause him the slightest bit of harm at all. Why didn't you become a zombie? The scorched zombie widened his eyes, and a deep doubt arose in his heart. Although his innate corpse poison was not as fierce as the clan's powerhouses, it still had some degree of maturity. In the past, when he fought against enemies, he relied on this innate corpse poison to turn many powerhouses into zombies. However, Suchen was clearly poisoned as well. Why didn't he think about the process of turning into a zombie? I was born with a domineering body. I'm immune to all poisons in the world. Of course, an ant like you is ignorant. Suchen sneered and immediately controlled his mental strength to tear off the scorched zombie's 2 arms. It was impolite not to reciprocate. Since the other party dared to play tricks on him, he naturally had to let the other party have a taste of his own means. The scorched zombie could not bear the pain and let out a heart-wrenching scream. Witnessing this scene, all the humans shuddered. Previously, Suchen gave off an invincible aura of a powerhouse. But now, his brutal side was vividly displayed. It made everyone feel a chill in their hearts. Chapter 249. Now you should tell me the location of the interworld passage, right? Suchen stared at the charred zombie and said sternly, "There is no interworld passage. When we entered, the interworld passage collapsed." Seeing Suchen's eyes full of hostility, the charred zombie was so scared that the corners of his mouth trembled. He had just seen Suchen's methods. It was too cruel, and he did not want to experience it again. "Looks like you won't talk unless you suffer a little." Suchen's face darkened. After he finished speaking, he manipulated his mind power again and let the charred zombie feel what it meant to be in heart-wrenching pain. He did not know if the other party was telling the truth, so he might as well use torture to force a confession. "I'm telling the truth." With a series of crackling sounds of bones breaking, the charred zombie's body began to twist and deform, followed by a painful roar. Seeing this, everyone felt their scalps tingle. Especially those who had mocked Suchen before, they were so scared that they almost peed their pants. "We, the undead clan, will not let you go." In the end, the charred zombie could not bear the pain and bit his tongue to commit suicide. F***ck. Suchen was so angry that he spat at the charred zombie's body. Because he did not kill it himself, he lost a chance to get a fragment, which made him very angry. Throwing the charred zombie aside, Suchen turned his eyes and glanced at a certain spot in the zombie crowd. Before he came, he saw from the central control screen that there were a total of 3 foreign race creatures here. Now 2 of them were dead, and the other one was still hiding in the zombie crowd. That undead clan member realized that Suchen was looking for him, and a strong sense of fear grew in his heart. He knew that if he fell into Su Chen's hands, his end would be extremely miserable. So, he went all out and ordered all the zombies to attack Su Chen. Roar! For a moment, the roars of the zombies shook the sky and the earth. Tens of thousands of zombies locked their eyes on Su Chen, and their scarlet eyes revealed a bloodthirsty look. Kill him! The undead race member pointed at Su Chen and shouted. All the zombies went crazy, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws at Su Chen. Should we help? The woman in black asked the male zombie. The male zombie hesitated for a moment, then nodded slightly. Although the zombie army's target wasn't them, Su Chen had helped them. Logically and emotionally, they couldn't just sit by and watch. However, before they could make a move, they were stunned by the scene before them. Su Chen punched out, and a sky full of fist shadows inexplicably appeared in midair, pressing down on the incoming zombies with an earth-shattering force. Immediately after, a bone-chilling sound of bones cracking resounded throughout the world. Before the woman and the male zombie could react, they saw over 1,000 zombies fall in front of Su Chen. 400 to 500 zombies were smashed into pieces and died on the spot. The rest of the zombies were also injured. Although they didn't die, they had lost their ability to fight. As for that undead clan member, he was directly smashed into pieces, leaving no trace of his body. Witnessing this shocking scene, everyone fell into a deep stupor. One punch, just one punch, could kill and injure over 1,000 zombies. It was too violent. It was a little too inconceivable. Chapter 250. Wu Yang and the others had seen Su Chen's Pegasus Meteor Punch before, but they were too far away at that time, so they did not have the chance to experience it. At this moment, they clearly saw how terrifying this punch was. One punch turned into 100 punches. Every punch contained the full strength of a level 4 evolutionary. When they were combined, the power was multiplied. They even thought that a level 5 evolutionary would be defeated by such a punch. As for a level 6 evolutionary, even if they could withstand it, they would not have an easy time. He is also a powerful evolver. The woman in black regained her senses and murmured. The expression of the male zombie next to her changed. He opened his mouth wide and his jaw almost fell to the ground. Su Chen had indeed used the strength of an evolutionary in that punch. Then, he remembered that Su Chen was also a powerful magician and a telekinesis master. The male zombie seemed to realize something and shouted, "He's a full-time cultivator. All of them have reached level 4. Oh my god! How could there be such a monster in this world?" On the other side, after the undead was killed, the zombies returned to their original nature and attacked Su Chen and the humans in Heaven Temple City. "Let's attack together and kill the zombies." The woman in black roared. Originally, she wanted to help Su Chen, but now, she did not hesitate. The humans in Heaven Temple City received the order and took out their weapons, charging towards the zombies. At this moment, a war was about to break out. Su Chen knew that the humans in Heaven Temple City had good intentions, but he did not want to see that happen. After all, if the zombies were killed by them, they would not drop any fragments. To him, it would be a huge loss. Get the F***CK into the city. Whoever dares to kill a zombie, I will kill his or her entire family. In a moment of desperation, Su Chen shouted at the humans in Heaven Temple City. Hearing that, the humans were dumbfounded. What was going on? "We are here to help you, okay? Why do you want to kill our entire family?" Although they could not understand, they did not dare to disobey Su Chen's order. "Retreat to the city, don't kill the zombies." The black-clothed woman called out and led the humans into the city. She knew that if she didn't do as Su Chen said and angered him, the consequences would be unimaginable. Su Chen's strength was enough to intimidate them. She even believed that even if all the people in Heaven Temple City were to join forces, they wouldn't be enough to kill Su Chen alone. Facing such a powerhouse, the best thing to do was to follow his advice. When all the humans retreated into the city, Wu Yang and the others quickly rushed down from the intelligent chariot, and began to slaughter the zombies mercilessly. The intelligent war chariot went all out at this time. Every time the magnetic storm net was released, it would kill hundreds of zombies. The ungraded Gatling gun fired wildly, and a large number of zombies were turned into sieves, reaping the lives of the zombies non-stop. The humans of Heaven Temple City had just retreated into the city. When they saw the scene outside the city, they were all petrified. Strong. Too strong. His strength was boundless. That was their evaluation of Su Chen and the others. With the help of Wu Yang and the others and the intelligent war chariot, killing zombies became easier and faster. In just half an hour, more than 10,000 zombies were killed on the spot. Looking at the dazzling fragments on the ground, the corners of Su Chen's mouth slowly curled up. Then he began to pick up the fragments. Wu Yang and the others began to dig for energy stones. Chapter 251. Su Chen first picked up a green fragment. Picked up Blade of Divine Sense, Fragment X1, 250. The fragments are not full, so it can't be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. The Blade of Divine Sense had been dropped when he was in the Huangzi mountain range, but it had never appeared again. After a little hesitation, Su Chen exchanged it for energy points. The Blade of Divine Sense should be a secret spiritual power technique, and the energy points required to exchange for it reached 5,000 points. Although it was not as good as the ancient God-Fiend body and the heavenly hundredfold strength technique. But it was obviously a very good thing. Considering that it would take a long time to collect all the fragments, he didn't know how long it would take. He decided to spend some energy points to exchange for it. Therefore, he only needed to keep one. Then, he continued to pick up fragments. The second was a purple fragment. Picked up Northern Ice, Fragment X1, 3-10. The fragments are not full, so it can't be used. It can be exchanged for energy points. The Northern Ice should be the same as the mysterious ice of Ninth Serenity, which was an ice element manifestation. It appeared much earlier than the mysterious ice of Ninth Serenity. But so far, only 3 fragments had been collected. On the contrary, the mysterious ice of Ninth Serenity that appeared later had been collected and integrated into ice element magic. Then, he continued to pick up fragments. After picking up more than a dozen fragments in a row, the woman in black and the male zombie came over together. However, before they could get close, they were stopped by the mechanical soldiers. Su Chen also had something to ask them, so he let the mechanical soldiers let them go. "Senior, I'm Su Wuhua. Thank you for saving me," the woman in black said respectfully when she came to Su Chen's side. Su Wuhua looked to be in her 30s and had an ordinary appearance. Su Chen glanced at her, then shifted his gaze to the male zombie and muttered, "Can zombies coexist peacefully with humans?" The male zombie in front of him was inseparable from Su Wuhua, and they seemed to have a close relationship. This made him feel very strange. "Senior, his name is Wei Kanggang, and he is my husband. He is also an intelligent zombie," Su Wuhua explained. "Senior, thank you for saving my life." At this moment, Wei Kanggang also cupped his hands towards Su Chen to express his gratitude. Su Chen nodded and asked, "Why are there so many intelligent zombies in Heaven Altar City? And they can even live together in harmony?" Once a human becomes a zombie, even if they have intelligence, their temperament will change greatly. Logically speaking, it was absolutely impossible for them to continue coexisting with humans. Such a situation in the Temple of Heaven City was truly rare. Su Wuhua hurriedly explained, "Our bloodline is different from that of other humans. After being infected with corpse poison, although they will also turn into zombies, they will retain their intelligence and original temperament. So, other than the difference in status, everything else is the same as before. Aren't you humans? Why are their bloodlines different?" Su Chen exclaimed softly. He wondered if the bloodlines of Su Wuhua and the others had mutated. "Senior, we are indeed part of the human race, but there are many branches of the human race. Our race is a very small branch, Su Wuhua replied. This time, Su Chen finally understood. It was like Wuxia in his previous life. There were 56 ethnic groups, and other than the Han, the others were called ethnic minorities. Su Wuhua's race could also be considered an ethnic minority among the human race. Chapter 252. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen asked, "Can I ask you something? Are there any zombies or mutant beasts nearby?" His purpose of coming here was to hunt zombies. After killing all the zombies here, he naturally needed to find the next batch. If they knew, it would save him a lot of time. "Senior, are you referring to a large number of zombies and mutant beasts?" Su Wuhua asked tentatively. "Yes." Su Chen nodded. After getting a positive answer from Su Chen, Su Wuhua said, "Blackstone City used to be a big city with a population of more than 100,000 people. But later, I heard that it fell. There should be a lot of zombies there." Blackstone City? Su Chen pondered and quickly recalled. Soon, he remembered that there was indeed a Blackstone City in the west of Qinyu Island. However, Blackstone City was almost at the edge of Qinyu Island and was only a few dozen miles away from the Forget Worries Sea outside Qinyu Island. "Well, I have nothing else. You can leave." Su Chen ordered them to leave. After learning that there were zombies in Blackstone City, he didn't want to continue chatting. After all, there were still a lot of fragments waiting to be picked up. "Senior, we'll take our leave." Su Wuhua and Wei Kanggang replied respectfully and then turned to walk into the city. Originally, they came here to express their gratitude to Su Chen and also to get closer to Su Chen. But seeing Su Chen's indifferent attitude, they dispelled the idea and left. After the two left, Su Chen continued to pick up fragments. Picked up, upgrade gem, fragment *111. Fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Picked up, sunflower seed, fragment *111. Fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Picked up, pet raising space, fragment *1010. Fragments are full. Can be used or exchanged for energy points. Pet raising space was a golden bracelet. When worn on the wrist, it would automatically integrate into the flesh and blood, which was the same as planting space. Its initial space was also 10 cubic meters, and its main function was to provide shelter for mutated beasts. Wearing the pet feeding space on his wrist, Su Chen continued to pick up fragments. More than an hour later, all the fragments had been collected. Su Chen returned to the intelligent war chariot and started counting his gains. This time, more than 1,000 fragments were dropped, and most of them were exchanged for energy points. The total amount of energy points reached 1,400 points. Other than that, there weren't many other rewards. Only a few level-up gems dropped. Su Chen used 2 upgrade gems to expand the planting space to 50 cubic meters. Then he planted all the newly obtained seeds. He also checked on the longevity fruit tree. Seeing that there was nothing wrong, he closed the planting dimension. Since Wu Yang and the others were still digging for energy stones, Su Chen took advantage of this time to look at the topographic map of Thousand Feather Island. After another 2 hours, all the energy stones were dug out. Wu Yang and the others got on the chariot one after another. Su Chen let the intelligent war chariot lock on the location of Black Rock City and went straight to Black Rock City. When the intelligent war chariot disappeared from sight, Wei Kanggang sighed with emotion. Who are they? Why are they so powerful? Su Wuhuan narrowed her eyes and thought about it. Su Chen's appearance made her see what a real genius was. At the same time, she also realized that the human clan was not as weak as she thought. They could also produce supermasters. You're tuning in to the Wandering Hero YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.